Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on crunchy like my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Klibaba. What I want? This one you got today. Spoon TV. This one you got today. Spoon TV. Spoon Skidibidibidabado. Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment. Kua. Bese kua, kujileo. Kujileo. On the spoon. Yes, I do information. On the spoon. Yes, I do. Spoon television. Yes, I do. Spoon radio station. Spoon television.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat. On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on crunchy like my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, Tuto Spoon. Yeah, Tuto Spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Spoon TV. Skidibidi dabado. Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment. Gua. Bese gua, kujileo. Gua, kujileo. Todo Spoon. Yes, what you information. Todo Spoon. Yes, what you Batileo. Spoon television. Yes, what you Batileo.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stan Turner with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just Tuto Spoon, you will know. The children crying for starvation, just Tuto Spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, Tuto Spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, Tuto Spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just Tuto Spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, Tuto Spoon. Yeah.
Okay.
Tuto Spoon.
Good evening, folks, and a pleasant welcome to yet another thunderstriking edition of the Spoon Talk. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. So wherever you are and whatever you are doing, please invite someone to listen or view alongside to you, because as usual, it promises to be very, very, very interesting. My name is Yekezi Zowel, sitting in this evening as your producer. Let's now go over to the team there from the US and, of course, Poland, where James Goodday Flomores to kickstart the show. Good evening.
Yekezi, James Goodday. Hello.
Hello, Doc. How are you?
Today is Friday. A little tired. The end of the work week, basically, for me. But I'm doing well. Happy to be here. How are you guys doing? How are you doing, Yekezi? And then I'll move on.
Okay. I'm okay, by God's grace.
That's good. James, how are you doing? Are you studying? Exams over? I think James is frozen. He just walked away. Okay. So the Friday, how's it going in Monrovia?
Yeah, the Friday is a cool Friday here in Monrovia. Sunny, we're in the dry season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so everything's fine.
Okay, that's good. What's going on? Before we welcome all of our guests, before I do that, I just want to thank you for joining us today. We are going to be here discussing issues in Liberia, good governance, corruption, healthcare system, education, all of the things that matter to Liberia is what we'll be discussing here today. We'll do our best to impart information to you from different lens, our perspective, and it's up to you to filter whatever we say and make informed decisions about the trending issues in our country. But we thank you for joining us. Please participate by, commenting, telling us your thoughts. You can tell us whatever you want to say. This is democracy. It's free will. You can express yourself accordingly. That's exactly what it is. And share the show wherever you are. Share the show on social media. If you are listening by radio, call a friend and enjoy the show. We'll be here with you for the rest of the evening. So, I guess any trending issues that you'd like to update us on before we welcome our guests as we wait for our panelists to join us, my colleagues to join me.
Yes, there are a few trending issues in the country right now. Like today, there has been this information circulating in social media, and I think James Kudeflomo was one of those who posted that about report of Mr. Alexander Cummings and Mr. Boaka, signing a preliminary deal, to contest the pending elections. It's an unconfirmed report, but it's something that's been making rounds on social media. A lot of folks, posting about that. But I personally, after getting the information, I decided to, speak to some of my folks within both parties off record, and a lot of them denied, the reports circulating on social media that Mr. Boaka and Mr. Alexander Cummings have sealed a deal, to contest on one ticket come October. And also today, the Liberian government, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, signed a note with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the donation of high-quality rice for the country. And the rice quantity is in the tune of 29,000 bags. And it's going to be the 25 kg bags of rice, which in total will accordingly amount to more than $500,000 United States dollars. And during the signing ceremony today, which took place at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the minister himself was there. Minister Maxwell D. Kemia was present, and he said that the rice will be turned over to the National Disaster Management Agency, only for people affected by disaster and also for, the underprivileged across the country. And also a presidential aspirant in person of Bendu Kroman, a female, has vowed to, provide 300,000 jobs for Liberians. If she's elected president of Liberia, she said a lot of things. She made a lot of promises. But outstanding amongst her promises was the provision of, 300,000 bags of 300,000 jobs if she's elected president of Liberia. And Madame Kroman worked before at the executive mansion during the regime of President Tobert. Yeah, and she said she's going to provide those jobs by crafting and implementing policies to compel companies operating in the country have their management structures comprising at least 25% of Liberian workforce. And she said her government will prioritize mass production of local agricultural produce by constructing factories to manufacture, local products right here in Liberia. And this story is important to give as a training development from a journalistic point of view. because it might be one of us tomorrow. Front Page Africa's correspondent in Margibi County, in person of one Yawa Javi. Yawa has alarmed that he fears for his life after some strange men riding a white Toyota SUV with the Ministry of Health inscriptions suspiciously passed around his home during the late evening yesterday, and one of them, pointing at his residence. So there's a background of this story. This journalist had earlier reported about a leaked audio in which top government officials there in Margibi County, specifically of the Margibi County Health Team, were discussing ways in which they can get kickbacks from, vendors of the Ministry of Health. So when the story was reported, the Minister of Health recalled them off duty. They were all suspended. And I understand that they've all been turned over to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission for investigation. So it's from this backdrop that he's fearing for his life after reporting such a story, linking top government officials, discussing ways in which they can get feedbacks from, vendors associated with the ministry, and then seeing a vehicle of the ministry passing by his house and someone inside of the vehicle pointing at his residence. So from that backdrop, he has alarmed that he fears for his life. Yeah, so basically those are some of the trending issues in the country. You are muted.
Okay, I said thank you so much. There's a lot going on in Liberia. A lot of things for us to chew
I'm
on.
clear now.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're much better. I was asking.
Oh,
I
okay.
said, I was asking. I hope that you making good grades on the exams.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm following.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
following.
making very good grades.
Good. That's
I'm
good.
from Lofa people. We are good. We're
I
not
know.
like
I
Yegazi.
know. I know about all about that. I know all about that. But okay, I'll be asking for it later on.
All right.
Okay. So, anything you'd like to add, James? To the
Yeah, like the death threat that Yekezi talking about. Another journalist who is also a talk show host in Liberia, also alarmed over the same thing. Sekou, I think you know him, Sekou
Yeah,
Sharif.
Sekou Sharif, yeah.
Yeah, Sekou Sharif also alarmed that a guy who I'm coming, let me get it right. I'm coming, let me get a person's name. He's alarming that this young man, okay, one Ali from BM, he's alarming that one Ali from BMC, and it's a business entity, called him earlier. Is that he's doing some kind of investigation on this man business or somebody connected with him. So this fellow called him, according to the leak or according to the audio he sent me, the person called him like telling him, "My picking, if you don't step down, I will, all I bring away. It means I will zero you."
That blackmail him.
No, not blackmail, to zero him, meaning to
Kill
get
him?
rid of him. Yeah. So he had a press conference on it, I think, yesterday, and it's getting serious today. Got to know about it. Yeah. So he's also another. He's also a journalist in Liberia. I think I think the Ali guy should be the owner of BMC. Sekou is alleging that Ali threatened his life, that if he not stop, he will get rid of him. And Sekou got sick, I think, about a year or two ago, right, Yekazi?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got sick about a year or two ago. It became very critical, and his supporters and even we, the friends, we were concerned about it. But at the end, he came back stronger. So he's alarming that this is serious. If Ali will call him, and he sent me the audio. I will try to send it to you people to listen to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, on the phone, this guy is serious. And Sekou told him, "Are you threatening me?" He said, "Yes, take it as a threat. I am." Yeah.
Yeah. Any word about the exiled Sheikh Saka, who I saw something trending on Facebook where Chef Saka is making some allegations, nothing proven yet
Yeah.
about. Yeah, did you guys hear about that?
Yes, I follow Sheikh. I follow Sheikh. And Sheikh was in the NSA before.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Sheikh left Liberia in a very horrible way. That it came. We were in Liberia then. We
Mm-hmm.
heard that people, this news came out that people were looking for Sheikh, and Sheikh was on an investigation. That news came out. Surprising to us, one morning we woke up, we heard that Sheikh left the country. So recently he been speaking, and Sheikh was a very good, successful businessman, if you may tell me like that, in our Liberian way. Yeah, before President Weah would come to power, Sheikh was one of the outstanding young men in Liberia that I used to hear about. I used to hear about Sheikh, and one time I went at the CDC headquarters to provide coverage during the campaign time. That was around 2017. Yes, it was around 2017. It was my first time I saw Sheikh. I saw him there, and I started to hear about him. But recently, I listened to him. He came up with huge allegations,
Mm-hmm.
and hey, I'm scared. I'm scared for him, and I'm even scared for the president. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. And the allegations is what it is. There's he has not provided any significant proof yet, even though he's talking. And anyone who's interested in forensic and security affairs would be the one to at least make uh, some substantiated findings. They will be able to substantiate his finding. But I thought it was interesting, very interesting that he would say that. Anything else y'all want to add to I actually as I look at the news for the day, uh I don't know. I think Yekezi, I'm on the side of not knowing anything about Mr. Cummings and Boykai signing any kind of deal.
Okay.
Uh to I don't know. I'm not in the loop of that conversation. So I think your sources and I are on the same side because you say you contacted some people and they told you that they were not aware. They have
Yeah.
not heard anything as well. So yes, I have not heard anything as such. My thoughts about it, I wonder when the news that, and I didn't get a chance to kind of visit social media a lot today. Who will be the head of the ticket? Mr. Cummings will be the head of the ticket, and
Boakai. Boakai.
okay, okay,
And
okay.
Mr. Cummings goes as VP.
Oh, okay. That's news again here to us. Anyway, and then it's interesting about the rice coming in from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I guess I'm getting a little bit fed up with donations of goods to our country. What I'm really want is I want companies to help Liberians to develop farmland to cultivate rice, to make to fix our own rice. Why don't these companies why can't our government negotiate with these companies to help Liberians? There's a guy who in Liberia who's already producing rice, helping expand the production of rice in our country, utilize our own soil, like in Nimba, Banga, Lofa, all those places, and just make the land produce rice, mass production of rice. Um, we may not be able to feed ourselves in a year or two, but have a plan. I want to hear that plan. I have not heard that rice plan, the plan to feed Liberians. So when I hear this donation, it's just a band-aid for me. We just put a temporary, you know, cover on the situation. That after the 29,000 bag of rice, when it finishes, when it finished, then what happens? When the bag of rice, when it's done, what happens?
Importation continues.
Okay, there we go. So that's not an answer. Government's supposed to provide in private sectors. They're supposed to be solution oriented and long term solution oriented, not just putting a band aid. And then I like this whole Bin Krumah idea of 300,000 jobs in the country and empowering Liberia. Of course, she's a woman, so I would like to admit my kind of small bias, not a lot of bias, but a small bias. So it would be nice. I hope we can invite her. I'm glad that you mentioned her name to come and explain her vision, her platform to the audience, to Liberians here. She's saying that she's going to empower Liberians and allow companies to hire Liberians first. So that's an interesting concept. So if she can come on here and explain herself, that would be really, really helpful. Yes, it's getting scary when journalists are feeling threatened. There's two journalists that you mentioned, one from Front Page Africa, and this other guy that Good Day mentioned, actually, Ali. So that speaks to freedom of our press. So we one of the things that we our government have sort of championed here, or they have sort of they've kind of like been on the cheerleaded, was that they respected freedom of speech, press freedom. So hearing this news to me, I think sort of puts a little bit of a damp on that news that they tend to champion, that they tend to cheerlead. Um, okay, let me go over and just recognize our guests here today. And as we wait, I'm waiting for my team to come. That's why I'm kind of having a nice, soft conversation with Yekazi today, waiting for our team to join us. So I want to welcome our guests. I really appreciate that you took the time to be here with us today. You could have been doing so many things, and so am I. I could have been doing so many things. The panelists could have been doing so many things, but we kind of have made this commitment to discuss Liberia, and that's why we're here. We really want to be able to engage in conversations about Liberia, and this is why I like calling your name out so you can participate in the comment section and to know that you're here. So welcome to Spoon Network. I'd like to start with Cyrus Foko. He's from India. Oh my goodness, we got India in the house. All of the Liberians in India, we want to welcome you. We appreciate you being here today. Salomon Gargana is also here. Salomon says hello. Abbas Fofana is also watching. Call Gloria Voga Moba. Hi, Call. How are you doing? Regina Wilson is also here. Regina, thank you for joining us. Eric Passaway, he's here. Thank you for joining us. Freddie is here. Thank you for joining us. Musa Sharif is also here. Martwin Vey is here. Thank you. Albert Blessed is joining us. He's in Belgium. He says Belgium is here watching Spoon Network. Thank you so much for joining us, Albert. Matima Fogba is joining us. Thank you for joining us, Matima. Motima, I think it's Motima, Motima. Jeremiah Zoga is joining us. Gus Galabaswawe, I believe Siawe, actually it's Siawe. Gus Galabasiawe is joining us. Thank you very much for joining us today. Morris Ziegler is here from Washington, D.C. Now, No SW To is watching us from San Antonio, Texas. Thank you very much. Philip Bala is also watching us. Philip, thank you for joining us. You always watch us. We appreciate it. Cyrus Foko is joining us again from India. Serafina T. Herbal is watching us. Serafina T. Herbal is watching us. Kumba Gobori is from Chicago, Illinois. Thank you. Albertia is watching us. Tipples PK Dempster is watching us. Thank you very much, Tipples. Inoch Tamba is here from Belgium. There's a lot of Belgian here today. Thank you. Augustine Tazo is also from India. I see another India. Evelyn Moore, she's from Canada. Wow. Spoon is widespread. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching us around the world. Alex Jackson is watching us and for staying with us. You guys have been our lawyer follower. And actually, the thing is not just because of Spoon, it's because you love Liberia like I do. That's why you come here. Alex Jackson is here watching us from Painesville. Simeon Wright is watching us from Burkina Faso. Simeon Wright from Burkina Faso is watching us. Stephen Solomon is also watching us here today. Let me get my thing to go down a little bit more. Where are the women, Liberian women? I call a few of you already. Catherine Flummer is one Liberian woman who's watching us. Thank you, Catherine. John Bubba is watching us from Philadelphia. I want more Liberian women or women from other places to watch us. Hold on, my thing is getting stuck. Eric Paso is watching. Richard N. Myers is watching from Nimba County. Richard M. Myers from Nimba County. Emika Flumo is watching us from Christian Community, Jobtown. Excellency Alfred William Cully is watching us. Stephen Solomon is watching us. Prince Yeligon is watching us from Sweden. We got Sweden, the Liberians in Sweden. I want to welcome you to thank you very much. And we got Badi Gayi Toforth from Accra, Ghana is watching us. Liberians from Ghana is here. Thank you. We appreciate you being here today. And let me see. Lee Johnson is from Phoenix, Arizona. Lee, thank you. I bet it's nice and warm in Phoenix, Arizona right now, compared to here in up north. Excellency Alfred William Cully is watching us. Clinton Zaza is from Duporo. Duporo is here. Yeah, Duporo, Liberia. Lawrence Peters is from Rehab Community. I know exactly where that is. Yeah, I like that Rehab Community area. It's very nice, especially on the beachside area, closer to the ELW road. Yeah, so I just want to tell everybody thank you for joining us. I wasn't calling you any particular order. I was just calling. But again, thank you for being here with us. We appreciate you being on the show with us today. Happy Friday to you. Yakasi, you want to add anything else to the show? It is 4:00. My time. I probably I don't know what time it is your time. Probably 8:04, right?
Yeah, it 9:04.
9:04. Okay, yes, yeah. 9:04. Yeah, we didn't spring forward yet.
Your sorrow, my network just misbehaving.
I think the network in Liberia is better than Poland this evening.
No, not that.
I think that's what's happening today. I think your network.
Yeah. As soon as I come on, it will send me back.
Okay. Hopefully we get in a better shape. Tamale, welcome to the show.
Oh, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. James, Yagazi, Adorjison, how you guys doing? All our listeners.
Yeah, I'm doing
Great.
well. Doing really good.
I'm doing good.
Yep. So it's we do you guys have anything else to add? Yagazi, and good day.
Yeah, so some chief and elders of Nimba County today spoke to the press, and according to them, they disagree with Senator Prince Johnson's recent statement of ending the MDR's marriage in Nimba County at large. Support to President George Manawia. They spoke in angry tone, according to them. The decision taken by the Nima County Senator is not in the right direction. They still support the Nima County. In fact, the CDC, they support the CDC to go for the second term. So they don't agree with their lawmaker.
How interesting.
The excerpt is here. If you guys want, I can have a play.
I did.
I'm getting the video prepared.
Oh,
Okay,
there's a video of that too. Good day.
Yeah, I'm getting the video prepared.
Seeing is believing. So when we see the video, then there's a couple of videos.
And just before we go to that video, I can basically tell you that our press conference was stage managed.
Yeah.
Okay. It was stage managed. I provided coverage on press conference that so many times. It was stage managed. You will listen to him telling you, those who planned the press conference, you will listen to him appreciating them in the press conference. He will appreciate all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so I thought it was something. Yeah.
The names you call from where? From CDC? Guys from the CDC?
You will hear him talking about Koji, how Koji made him who he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're ready, James.
When I read it, as soon as it's ready, I'll let you know.
I'm going to just begin our conversation with asking Timoleon to just give his opening comments, let him check in with us, and then and hopefully our other panelists we're expecting today will join us and they can give their opening comments. Timoleon.
Again, I was following the show earlier. The first thing I want to talk about is the Justice Chairman is the threat to journalists in Liberia, especially the guys who are taking are following this issue about the health ministry, the money, the usage money that they accuse the health workers in Maghibie. And I can tell you, the guys in Maghibie, they are not the ones. They are not the only one involved. I mean, if you dig deeper, you find that there are people in higher are all involved. Nobody was young. No person with a low rated person would just get involved in such a thing alone. They always come from higher up. But again, you saw that we have a tendency of dealing with little guys, little people. We will not go to the top. There are several indictments that the LCC have already filed for senior officials of government, cabinet ministers that are just lingering there, and you get to see the Minister of Justice or the Office of the President act on these indictments, But as soon as they talk about the health minister, who I have no confidence in her, that the health minister of Liberia, I have no confidence in her. She should be audited. Honestly, she should be audited. But she immediately moved to record these guys and act upon them when she got a lot of accusation on her for the COVID funds and so forth, how were mismanaged, the money they collected at the airport for the COVID vaccine. They give account of the funds, but she's acted already. But I say again, when the political will is there, these things happen, and so. But it's a serious thing, threatening the journalists, and the president should act now, because we know what journalists have fallen victim to people, to powerful people in the country in the past, and they should be taken seriously. These threats should be condemned, and the president should act upon it, because as soon as the guys try to follow up a story, we are threatening them, and that's what will happen for the next. Because mind you, there are people who are running for offices, and other people who are, and they were part of the government. They don't want to in election year. They don't want for people to look to go after them for corruption and so forth. So journalists will be threatened. Then the issue about PYJ, I've been calling PYJ. I sent a message. I know my papa will get back to me. I want to hear from him. I want to hear PYJ respond. I'm sure. But here's the thing about the PYJ and this guy issue. During the Civil War, Pazokia, the papa who spoke today, he was a big general of the MPF, one of the powerful general of Charles Taylor General. Yeah, they always talk about it. When he and PYJ, when they say two of them meet on the front, it should be tough. He was a great fighter of Charles Taylor, and PYJ was the IMPFL. So the rivalry between them being since the war. And now he's saying he made a threat, say PYJ for 18 years, he hasn't gone to his own home, his own village. And he had a job offer. PYJ stepped on the job and said, as long as a senator, you'll not get no job, should be joy in the county. So, but that's a dangerous path they're taking. And I hope I'm going to call on the council of churches to intervene in this thing, because they have a tendency of escalating, and it could be going to a full blown war. You shouldn't just overlook it. These are two powerful men. Zokia is a powerful former MPF general, and PYJ is a powerful former IMPF leader. So they shouldn't just overlook it. These guys have people that follow them. So I hope the voices of reasoning will get involved, intervene, put this on control. So because these elections, I told you guys yesterday, all sides will use everything possible to win the election. So that's why you see happening now. And like Jim said, you can tell that guy was a stage managed press conference he had today. It was stage managed. They didn't even know how to do that craft well. Everybody can detect right away, so it was stage managed, But I know PYJ will respond. I call him PYJ, and I know again before the show ends. Sure. And then issue about Cephas, Serena Cephas, I call him too. He's not picking up. I texted him, so I hope he can respond to my text. I want to ask him about what the incident is with the students today. Hope he can respond. I just got another number to call him. I will call him. And then another thing caught my mind too. You're talking about opposition unity, but then I see the Chairman Bility wrote us on his post. From what I've read, Chairman Bility says, I don't think he wants to see the opposition somehow unite, because he's mad still from what happened in the CPP. He made some point though, because he felt that the CPP were together, and people who in his mind that broke out the CPP apart, and so he said now that they should go back to the drawing board if they want to unite as an opposition. So hope we can touch on it too. But besides that, I think we have a good show, and let's see what we can do.
Okay, good. Thank you. Honorable Fagon, we just done our opening comments. Do you want to chime in on your opening thoughts for the show? And then we're going to go over to that video of what Tony was talking about with PYJ, and then we can give our thoughts about the video.
Well, good evening to all. But Dr. Francine, where is your cousin Kev?
Please do not ask me, okay? Just proceed.
Dr. Francine, please do not ask me. This thing, y'all gotta go bring my Salimatu yo.
Yeah.
I think me and Salimatu friendship are the longest on the platform.
I'm telling you, please tell Tomlin George. Tell Tomlin George, he our person who can connect everybody.
I think from what I saw today on the university campus to begin with.
We'll play the video if I go. Don't go too far.
No, I'm not going too far. Okay, then let me just leave it until you come.
Mm-hmm.
I am deeply troubled by not hearing any news on Legis. Today is February what? Who day? I think 10?
Yes.
And still nothing. And remember, this Legis result, or the census result, is supposed to inform NEC on the possibility of redistricting. And we've been singing a song because we're students of political science. Now, I'm deeply worried because you, Dr. Francine, went to court to make sure people on this side can be able to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to know which district they are in. Now you've done the census. How are we supposed to register if we don't know what district we're in? How? I'm talking about we as in Liberians.
Mm-hmm.
What if I go register in Newtown and they say, my man, after the redistricting, you are now in Claratown?
Yeah.
Oh, how? So this is something that needs to be talked about. And again, Western Cluster.
Yes, I have that on my agenda for the day.
Exactly. They put them down. And so I know Edwin Snow say, y'all talking nonsense. Well, the Senate now talk nonsense. They say y'all stop. The Supreme Court say y'all stop until y'all come here for your hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we're talking nonsense. The Supreme Court talking nonsense. The Senate's finished talking nonsense. And Snow now is knowing what's up. Again, the other thing that hit me today in my country is the issue of, how should I put it, the guy who went to take down the things from the, a lot of people call me to say, Fagon, this is unacceptable. I mean, look at the way they treated that guy. Think about it for a second.
Yeah.
And I'm coming to think that, look, we saw EPS officers in party uniforms. They had guns, so people were afraid of them. But even though the very government condemned themselves, the IG, all those people, Justice Minister condemned it, who went and dragged them for the crime they committed? Who dragging them? Let's assume without admitting that the man committed a crime. He is presumed innocent until proven guilty. But if you beat him up like that, man, and the last thing I want to say, Tomali showed a video yesterday of the Inspector General apologizing to Senator Dillon. But did you see the actual video that led to the apology? Dr. Francine, did you see it?
No, I didn't.
If you see it, you will go on your table.
Ah.
I just saw when somebody sent the video, a friend of mine said, Fagon, do you know why he apologized? I said, I'm not sure. He said, if you see what made him apologize and what made everyone drop their jaws in total shock, then I don't know what to tell you. So, yes, I will send that video.
To James, yeah.
To James, if you see it, you go on your table, then I will go on my table small just to prove a point. Because I myself, when I saw the video, my jaws dropped. I was like, no, it did not happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my lifetime, I have never seen that on the Senate floor before. I myself was very respectful when I challenged them. But to see a heated exchange between a senator and the Inspector General of Police, where you could have been held in contempt and sent to jail, I pray to God that young people don't see it. I pray to God that it is taken down from social media so that other people don't even think about copying it.
Wow.
And so that's all I have to say.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you guys very much. I want to just piggyback a little bit on the activist that was maltreated. In fact, I want to even use the word cruel and unusual punishment that he received for taking down the post. The whatever he was abused or met with was not desiring. He didn't deserve to be treated that way. So I'm thinking about how the United States always come up with the human rights report. I will not be surprised if that activist name is mentioned. Again, this is why there's a clause that have cruel and unusual punishment, which means that we can no longer engage in barbaric actions in our country. There's ways to deal with these kind of situations. I don't know if it requires our officers to calm down, take a walk away, or get more training, but it shouldn't be. So that I'm siding a little bit with you in terms of the human rights aspect of that case. Anytime you treat any kind of human being like that, it upsets me. It's not right. We need to exercise patience in our country. So, all right, let's move on then. I have a few conversations here. James, I don't know if you want to show, if you're listening, can you please show the video today of the former Solicitor General, Serena Cephas, visiting, I believe, was LU campus.
I have come.
Oh, never mind, James. Show that video first. You can go ahead.
I have come. Your word. But what he has done to me is what I'm referring to it to the Liberian people as well as Nimbaran. I'm an easy-going general. Even I ain't nobody know. People think that Bazoga died, but I'm not dying. I never died. I'm still alive. But we want peace in Nima County. 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 We don't want anybody to come disturb us and bring problem to our country. We don't want problem. Thank you very much. And what I want to tell the public, very recently, the nomination program I was hearing in Sunny Korea, I was there. You see, then I was senator, telling Mayor Koji, that frisky boy, he come. Because he saw me, he saw my picture. Me and Jawadi Koji, he saw my picture. You see, then he telling the mayor, he's a senator. You see, Mayor Jawadi Koji will not look at freedom and addressing that frisky boy. You see, rude boy. You see, and Mayor Koji, the first program I was heard in Secretary, our citizen gave me the name, Sebring. And the person who have.
There you have it. If you're just joining us, you are listening to Nima County General Zokia, I believe. I may not be pronouncing his name correctly. He distanced himself from Zokwe, you said?
Zokia.
He is distancing himself from Prince Johnson's disagreement or refusal to sign the framework, the coalition framework. So he is telling us his side of the story. Someone, George, what do you want to add? Anything else to what you heard from Chief Zokia?
Well, like I said earlier, we are in a political season right now, and what's going to happen? I think I told you guys from last year. I said we're going to see a lot of such what we're seeing now, Chris, cross carpeting, and we'll see people moving left, right, and what's happening is that I think the CDC, they have infiltrated the Nima, infiltrating Nima, and they're going to make Nima a fight. They're going to invest in Nima, and they're going to make Nima competitive. They're not going to abandon Nima. They'll put resources in the Nima. They're going to fight for every vote in Nima, and they are going, like he said something today that about there was the road to Lokwatu, I think that road for many years and not been paid, and we are administration that road got paved. So he made news about it too. But what's happening? The MDR party, there's members in the government, and the ruling establishment are using these guys to ensure that they make the ground hard for Prince Johnson and Kun and the leadership of MDR. But again, at the end of the day, we're gonna see when the puzzles start to get filled up. We'll see who really controls Nima, who really the influential person in Nima County. But the only thing we pray for is that there should be just words of war, and so they should not take it to a level where they're going to start making threatening statements where they're going to enter into chaos and so forth. That's what we are. We pray that it shouldn't reach that far. They can, but it'll be a serious fight, and I really want to hear PYJ respond. I've been trying to talk to him all day, but I'm sure I'll get to him before the show ends, or perhaps after the show. I want to hear his response to such a thing, because he really went down Prince Johnson, and PYJ is someone who he all respond to any attack or fight. So I see what will happen, but I think the Council of Churches, the Interfaith Mediation Committee, they should get involved to ensure that this issue don't escalate and end up into something that would threaten the peace and stability of Nima and Liberia, because they are, as I said earlier, these are two former generals fighting, having a war of words now. So we shouldn't allow it to go that far. And I pray to the president will exercise leadership and call on them to stop and to be calm, so that they can talk the politics, but no threats and no so forth. So right now, I mean, like I said, Zokia was, you can tell that everything was stage managed by the guys who supported him to say what he had to say. But let's see what Prince Johnson will say.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Timberland. Mr. Fagon?
Well, let me say to my brother Timberland, honestly, don't expect anything from Prince Johnson. Because if you search your soul and your heart and answer your own question, that when was the last time you heard the name Zokia in our body politics? Not during the war, but since the war was over. Ellen took over 12 years. First, it was Charles Taylor, then Ellen, then now Joshua. Ask yourself, when was the last time you heard the name Zokia? Never. And these are some of the mistakes that the CDC can make that can be so detrimental to their own progress. They put him in Kosu, they gave him money. You left Zokia saying now, for the 6 years you've been in power, what job did you gain? What finances did you arrange for him? Did you get a package for him? And you're going to put him up against Prince Johnson? When I say these are some of the catastrophic mistakes they make, it's because we are in a political season. Are you a political stakeholder in the MDR? You are not. So Prince Johnson, Jeremiah Kun, playing the politics, a former general comes up and act like he got political party, or he's some kind of executive member, and you expect Prince Johnson to pick up the phone and call you, and you acting, my brother, like this thing could go to war? It will never happen. Interfaith Mediation Committee to settle between Zokia and Prince Johnson. So where's Zokia coming from? You just pop him up. Prince Johnson is not going to call you, I can tell you that for free. And Prince Johnson will not respond to Zokia, who has been silent since Charles Taylor time, Ellen time, and Jowia time. Now, They are attempting to create somebody, but instead of them looking for someone who can express himself better, that understands the issue, that can politicize the debate, they bring the man, you can see the man, like y'all say, it was stage managed. He talking about Jefferson Koji. Is he a defense lawyer for Jefferson Koji? The people talking politics. He said that boy frisky. Let the boy respond to him. But what did Prince Johnson say about you, Zokuya, for which you are out today to attack him? Look, Dr. Francis, let me tell you, Nimba politics is unique. There is a fresh cow that is skinned. And I can tell you, everybody will cut their own. You saw Zokuya today? He dug a blade. He was not in country gown, the regular Nimba country gown. That's not why he wore. But he wore the country hat with tie and everything. And you know what he said? He said, I'm an easy general. You ever hear money? In fact, people thought I was dead. That alone tells you that only today you hear the name Zokuya. I thought too he was dead. I thought Zokuya died ever since. And today, like Lazarus, he's from the dead. The people are not talking war. They're talking politics. He's criticizing Jefferson Koji. He's trying to put him down to a level. Then Jefferson Koji buy a new Kosu. Then you come in the picture, you say, we don't want trouble in Nimba. What trouble? Are you going to go to war? It's politics. They have a political party called, I'm coming. They have a political party called the MDR.
Yeah.
Why are you a political party? You in CDC? Then a different thing we're talking. Are you a sedition? Why your party? But you say don't bring trouble. It's politics. And this is not the time for CDC to be dressing generals then to come and threaten the political process. And I will say this to you. You see why they always accuse the CDC of having ties to these former generals?
Okay, Mr. Falcon.
You picked up a general and you got him threatening another political leader.
Okay, thank you very much. And to our two panelists that are joining us, welcome to the show. We had just reviewed a videotape from Chief Zokuya distancing himself from Prince Johnson, and we're giving our reflection or thoughts on what we saw. So if you like, you can chime in. I believe Kev Hassan, you can chime into if you watch the video. If not, we can pass. And Ben Sammy, if you also like, you can also chime in.
Okay, I'll come in. I want to say hi to everybody on the platform. You know, Liberia is a country that we all want to be better. Liberia is a country that will no longer tolerate people who want to take us back to the dark days. And we saw today, we witnessed today from the elders of Nimba, they're saying we will not allow a certain people or one man to hold a country, the county, to kind of be the person that will hold the people of Nimba, I will use the word underwater. Reason, they have a lot of Nimbadians that call some of us, that talk on different stations, saying that we are not going to go back to that days that only one person will speak. So when we're seeing the elders of Nimba speaking, I think we all should praise it, not to play games or either say stage manage.
when they go against your narrative, it's stage managed. But when they go when they speak in what you want them to talk about, it's okay. This election is going to be based on tangibles. This election will be based on what the people of Nimba can see. When people praising or want a pay to play attitude in Nimba, I wonder if people in Liberia, I wonder if people do have the Liberian people at heart. Pay to play will not be part of this election. If people want pay to play, it will not happen. Under this government, he will not do it. This person will not do it. I will tell you, and I will speak to it clearly. This president will not pay nobody to play, because that's not what this president for. He will take that money and develop the people. He will not do it. So if people want to come on national TV or radio station and pushing narrative, think that this person will pay them to play, and they have that game. I will go on spoon. I will go on. Okay, I will hit this government. Then the government will call me and they will give me money. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. You can hate all you want to hate the government. It ain't happening. This president will not pay nobody to play. So for now, I will leave it until we go. But again, I will have a tip to play, and I will send it. Let me to send it of before and now. What folks said before to play, or what folks wanted to be, and now. So I will put it out there so the Liberian people can judge before and after. So let's. I will give it to James. Permit me, Dr. Richardson. I will give it to James, so James can play it when I'm coming back next, so people can listen. What this president will not do, what folks want this president to do. So we'll play it and we'll hear it. So I'm going to send it to James.
You muted.
Thank you, Kef Hassan. Chairman Ben, thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. It's good to see you guys. And thank you again, Dr. Richardson, for holding the fort while we have been away. I started a new job, so it's I've been trying to get my feet wet. So that's the reason why I know people have been asking why they haven't seen me, but we start to
have you.
Regular. Thank you.
Good to have you.
Yes, but it's interesting. There's some interesting times in Liberia. I'm not surprised. I always say it on this platform. I'm not surprised at the things that I'm seeing. This is what the political season brings. There's going to be a lot of this happening. I did see former general Zogia today, his press conference. And I will say, look, first of all, these are people who are key stakeholders in Nimba politics, whether you want to agree or you don't want to agree. These are people who at one point in time were all aligned towards the same ideology. What you find happening, because the CDC entire strategy in the past, the entire Nimba strategy in the past was resting on Prince Johnson's shoulders. That is a fact. When they got into their marriage in 2017, I think moving towards 2023, the CDC strategy was hands off of Nimba. Let's leave it to Prince Johnson. We don't need to ruffle any feathers. Now, with that deal falling off the cliff, what you see now is a reemergence of a new strategy. And, it is, I like to, I've been using this word a lot these days. It's Hail Mary pass thing in American football. And Dr. Francine, I know you're a football fan, as is my big brother, Ibrahim. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about when I say a Hail Mary pass. But one thing that you may say is that they do have the resources.
and they do have the capacity to go ahead and do what they want to do. Now, the bottom line here is the reason it's a Hail Mary pass is because it may work or it may not work, right? But I think the strategy of just sitting and watching and not doing anything, I don't think it's something that they're going to do. Zogia is a huge stakeholder in Nimba politics. He's very huge. You can't discount him. So at the end of the day, I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I think we're going to see. Let's not forget, President Weah is the sitting president. He has the county leadership. All of these people. Remember now, this is what Joe Burka had in 2017. What Joe Burka had in 2017 was the county structures. All of the as much as Ellen was not supportive in a sense of going out to campaign for Joe Burka, but Ellen did not instruct the local functionaries of government not to support VP Burka. We were in Liberia. We were there. There were times where we went to counties and superintendents denied Liberty Party or CDC or other opposition party the right to use city halls and stuff like that. So all of these things you're seeing happening, I'm not surprised. You will see them happen. There are going to be more people who will come out of Nimba and denounce Prince Johnson because you know what? He has decided that he's not supporting the ruling establishment. The key here is this strategy going to work? Is this going to have an effect on the votes? Where are the voters going to go? And I will end on this note. You know, I'm a student of history. The last time something like this happened, it was in, I believe, 2011. At that time, Prince Johnson was running for president. He was running for president. He wasn't running for re-election. So he was on the ballot as president of Liberia. What happened in 2011? Nimba County catapulted Prince Johnson to the 3rd place. People forget, Bromskin came down to 4th place in 2011. Nimba County catapulted him to 3rd place. In 2005, Dr. Richardson, Prince Johnson was in the situation he's in right now. He was running for senator, but remember who Prince Johnson endorsed in the 2nd round in 2005. Prince Johnson endorsed George Manning Weah. He did not endorse Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. In fact, the only major political player in our politics that endorsed Ellen in 2005 was Joa Howard Taylor. She broke ranks with the MPP, with some of the MPP hierarchy, and endorsed Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Prince Johnson, Bacchus Matthew, all of the political, Vani Sherman, every single one of them endorsed George Weah in the 2nd round. George Weah went on to lose that election to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in the 2nd round, having won the first ballot. The reason I'm saying this is we may just be looking at a lot of things playing here.
By the way, 2005, we won the 2nd round. We won it. CDC won.
You ain't win no 2nd round. Move from here, man. What you talking? Did we have become president? He told me he want to a cheating business. That's all he was saying.
Coming from us.
But that's another debate. That's another debate.
Yes, so finalizing. Yeah,
that's another debate. What I want to say here is we may have a situation, right, where Nimba may be up for play. And I say may. Listen to me, I'm speaking, being very clear. May be up for play. Exactly. I don't want people to take it and run and start jumping all over the place, right? I'm speaking clear English. I say may be up for play. And let me tell you why I believe Nimba may be up for play. Because Prince Johnson is running to be senator. Prince Johnson is not running to be president. Now, if Jeremiah Kun runs for president, I believe he will get a lot of votes. Will he get the same amount of votes that Prince Johnson got? That is left to be seen because Jeremiah Kun has never ran for president before. So you can't make an empirical statement or be emphatic on that Jeremiah Kun. Will the CDC get support out of Nimba? You bet yes, they will. They're the independent party and other political parties too. The ANC has done a lot of work in Nimba. They will get. So we may see a lot of juggling when it comes to Nimba. But those are my initial thoughts, and I think we'll go deep into it as we proceed in the conversation.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you for your thoughts. If you're just joining us, we are looking at the Chief Zokia, who distanced himself from Prince Johnson, and we are just kind of exploring the CDC tactics that they are now employing in Nima County of uplifting Chief Zokia and disagreeing with Prince Johnson, who said that he wants his $7.5 million for the Nima people. He wants jobs for Nima people. Those are the demands that Prince Johnson is preaching to CDC. Okay, so we are going to now go on to our second video for the show. Today, something happened in Monrovia. James, do you have the Serena Cephas video? Something happened on LU campus. This is almost like the second time, that they have booed someone or chased someone in recent times on LU campus. So what is happening to the students on the campus? So let's James, if you have that video where Serena Cephas, as you probably heard, Serena Cephas was the former Solicitor General for the country. He is, along with two other former members of the CDC government, is now on sanction relating to the Magnitsky Act. And we don't know why he was there. Maybe some of you, I don't know why he was there on the grounds of LU today, but maybe someone can tell us, one of you guys might know. But there was a reaction. There was something that happened. I want you to see with your own eyes of what happened today, and then we can talk about it. We can have our comments and thoughts about it. James?
Jim said his internet is giving a little bit of problem, as you can see it buffering.
Yeah, I see that. James, is that the issue? Are we still having issue with that video with former Solicitor General Serena Cephas on LU campus today? We can come back if you want us to come back. James, are you hearing me? Okay, let's continue our conversation, and we'll come back to that. I wanted to go on to a conversation relating to the Western clusters that was in the news today. The news is that there's one of the judges in Liberia halt operations of the mining operations in the company. There was a Burmese citizen took the company to court. So we can hear more about that, but that's what I have on my agenda for today. So, Chief Attorney Judge, what do you think? They're suspending. Tony George, any thoughts? I'm shocked.
You know, and President Toro was booed on LU campus. President Dole, I don't want to. I didn't remember Taylor being booed, but Taylor was, and Taylor, I don't think Taylor ever fasted LU campus. And I know that President Weah, I don't think he don't fast in LU campus too. But the university, they have this saying that the University of Liberia is a microcosm of the greater Liberian society. So they always, what advocacy comes from, it starts from there, and they have this thing where they are being fearless all the time. I've been knowing the students at the University of Liberia. I remember, and it's like a culture. It just continue to go on, to continue. I remember during the Samuel Doe administration of military government, these guys challenged Doe. And I remember August 22nd, 1986, 84, I think, when Doe ordered the defense minister and the chief of staff to move on LU campus and disperse the students, and some students lost their life and so forth. So this has been the culture on a campus. Mm-hmm. And so far, when you those who are being accused of betraying the public trust, when they meet the wrath of these students, they go off on them. And the students, they're not selective though. They go after anyone, even if you're opposition and you are a lawmaker or someone and they see you on campus, they will go after you. Well, unfortunately, that former SG Cephas caught himself in that situation today. But the students and the age of students that are doing this, look at the age of the students, and they make up about 65% of our voting population, the young people. And all those who are running for offices got to be very mindful that they are the people who will be going to the polls if they are encouraged to go to the polls to cast the votes. And there's a warning. And now what happened today, you won't see many officials of government going on campus easily. Yeah, I'm sure that if those who in power, you won't expect to see, or the speaker, or the pro tem, or maybe the president of going on campus, because the students they just don't care. They will go after anyone. And so, Cephas, he caught himself in the wrong phone. He said the wrong place today, and he got booed from the University of Liberia campus. And it was just a troubling, embarrassing situation, but the students, and we're in election season, so the students are going to put a wrath on people and so forth. So they got all politicians got to get prepared for this. They're going to experience the students' wrath, and they should be mindful that these students should not take it all over across the country. Now, if they start taking it across the country, then campaign will be difficult for those running for offices, because if the students start to take their stuff across the country, and so you go campaign in Basso, they put it behind you there. They go low far, they put it behind you, you're in trouble. So let them just make sure the students just keep it on your campus, because if they go across the country, campaign will be difficult for politicians. So, but it was unfortunate. I see, Cephas, sexy situation, and he couldn't get out of that place easily. He found a way out, sung away, and left. And he was glad he left the students booing. And public officials, be mindful. If you are accused of betraying the public trust, you expect to see such a wrath from students and citizens. You're muted.
So Fagan, your reaction to what you just saw in the video. You muted.
I said the same thing when Joel was booed. If you remember and recall on this platform, I said it's not unique to Joel. Anybody, McGill and Tuel went there, we saw what happened. Joel went there, we saw what happened. Today, Cephas. After what happened to Walter Sisulu, I think the university campus is now a no-go zone because of the attack on Sisulu. Even if President Weah go there, I can promise you, they will have to shoot some of the students to get him on the campus. And I'm not joking, because these students have this attitude of an attack on their leaders or their students. The student population is an attack on all. And this government was nailed by our international partners, especially the United States government, for the manner and way in which Sisulu was treated. Now, they don't have guns to retaliate against the government. They don't have any means of retaliation. So think about President. We are saying, I'm going on LU campus tomorrow. God forbid. Because they are going to retaliate for the way and manner in which Sisulu was beaten, stripped naked, and paraded. That will be a university solidarity. It would have been different had it not happened to Sisulu. Because now you will have those backing the government against those that are against the government. But for that situation that happened to Sisulu, you will see one university in retaliation for what happened to Sisulu. And like I said to a colleague of mine today, what did CFOS go to look for over there? What was he thinking? And this colleague of mine who has been on this platform several times said, I asked myself the same question. What did he go to do over there? What was he going to do there? Especially in such a flashy vehicle.
Yeah,
very
that car was
attractive by color. That is a 3-door Hyundai Veloster. And it's yellow. It's a sports car. But it's sprayed yellow. If you come on the campus, everybody will say, who in that car? That's someone at Peter and Jago. I'm talking about those of us who attended the University of Liberia, Peter and Che in our car, or Peter and Che in our car. But then somebody maybe leaked by chance that CFOS. You're done. And I think what happened today is not unique. It wasn't unique to McGill and Tua. It wasn't unique to the vice president. It wasn't unique to CFOS. The students are angry about corruption, and any government official going over there should make sure they're going with a record that is perfect.
Thank you.
In fact, even if it's perfect, I can say this to you, they will deal with them in the spirit of dealing with the government. And I think that's what you saw in that clip.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If you're just joining us, I want to welcome Dr. Henry Peabody to the program. Dr. Peabody, welcome. We're going to move on to Kev Hassan. He's going to give us his thoughts on the tape. Chairman Ben, can you take over for a second? I have to run.
Sure. Kev, you can go ahead.
Okay. Let me say this to you. To the people of Liberia and to our children in school, our first-time voters, the people, our old mother who send their children to school, who no longer paying fees at that university, tuition at that university, who no longer paying tuition at that university. They send the children there to go to school and achieve. All over the world, students in universities, colleges, they engage the government through, or they engage the government intellectually. What we saw today, we saw guys who come out with a kind of rebel style of attack. Are we serious to praise our students to be banging on people's car? Banging on the cars? That's how you send your message? That's how it should be? Have you seen university students back then? When we grew up in Liberia, that's what they stood up for something. We saw them. We saw them when they stood up to do. We all went and support them. When the 5 students were arrested and jailed the day they freed them, we were on the streets. I was there. Because there was something. And folks asked what CFOS is going to do there. So now CFOS don't have right to movement. What our constitution saying, freedom of movement. Now, if I, Kef Hassan, will ask that question about somebody, why are you doing that? People will say, oh, so you're saying that people should not move? So CFOS, does he have right to freedom of movement under our constitution? Then we ask that question, what CFOS is going to go do that? That's the Liberia we're talking about. Serenal CFOS do has the right to freedom of movement.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Kev. Dr. Peabody, I think you saw the video. Now, I think Kev raised some points, and I would like, after you, Dr. Peabody, I like for us to go around again on this. We all know that the University of Liberia, like Fagon said, this is not unique. It's almost like, I like to describe the University of Liberia like Monserrato in our politics. Once you go in power, once you get in power, right? Let's put it this way. Some of the people who are even clapping today and exciting about what happened today, when it happened in the past against officials of the last government, some of them were saying that the students were the students were being rude and stuff like that. But I think, Tomini, you said it right. The issue here is that the University of Liberia does have a history of or at least a certain segment of the University of Liberia, because guess what? There are 20-30 plus thousand students in the University of Liberia. Not every student in the University of Liberia is involved in student politics. But I think the student political parties, specifically I think SOUP and the other parties, have a record. They have a record of standing up. They have a record of speaking truth to power. They have a record of challenging the status quo. And you were spot on. And to your to answer your question, Taylor, I think Taylor did feel the wrath of the University of Liberia, the University of Liberia students. So he did. Ellen did.
No, I just forgot. Ben Taylor, I think if I'm mistaken, you're one of the only president who engaged all you students. I forgot.
No, he did. That's what I'm saying. He went there, but there was a heated exchange. So your point was you were spot on when you said this is not, and I think Fagon even said this is not unique. But Dr. Peabody, I want to ask you because Kev alluded to something. When you have students, is it fair to ask the question if our university or our students are too militarized? Is it fair to say that they take it sometimes a little too far? And this is not in defense of CFOS, because CFOS, it is clear, has been sanctioned by the U.S. government. He hasn't been charged for any crime yet, but he's been accused of some serious offenses against the country. Can we talk about that, Dr. Peabody? Is this something that we want to continue to see? Is this an effective strategy? That's probably the way I want to ask the question. Is this an effective strategy in how the University of Liberia, some of these students get their message out there? Has this proven to be an effective strategy?
I don't think it's an effective strategy, Ben. Let's think about what happened to the vice president. You had international guests that were present at the University of Liberia. It was a good day for the University of Liberia. They were launching fishery degree in fishery.
Yeah, the fishery department.
At the University of Liberia. They had guests from other countries. And the vice president was there with guests and others. And the way the student demonstrated, the behavior was just out of order. Let's take or leave it. We know that the university have not had, they have had free education. Even if it didn't work too good, it's working to some level. That burden has been eased. I think, but our students are too much into this military thing that they cannot express their displeasure in any way but to use violence. And I think it does not sit well for the other young students that are going to get an education. It does not sit well that our students at the nation's highest institution is not safe enough. I mean, thank God they didn't hurt Cephas. They would have broken his car and he would have even been harmed. But I think it has gotten to the point it does not solve a problem. They want to create problems for the university. It vandalized the very school that they're going in, and then the government will have to come back and spend. I think the student needs to find a way of addressing. They could have just sit there and boo him. That would have been that. Nothing would have happened, but when they take it into their own hand, they want to see blood before they show that they have demonstrated some power. I think that is totally uncivil, and something needs to be done to stop that, because if you can disgrace the vice president or international guests, who you can disgrace again, and when you have international guests coming and saying that, they will say the country is not the university student. But I think they have been too much militarized in those things, and it's totally bad for our country.
Thank you. Dr. Richardson, maybe you can chime in on this. I asked a question because I like what, I want to harp on what Fagon said about Sisulu. I think that was a heinous act. I think we all condemn it. And in fairness, I think it is a shame that we still have not heard any outcome. First of all, how is Sisulu doing? We don't even know, nobody has heard from him. Nobody knows what has happened. So I think, there is some legitimacy to some of the anger that maybe if this is in that line. But I did ask the question, you are a professor, right? You teach at a university. I did ask the question whether if this is an effective strategy. Is it and take Cephas, let's take Cephas out. I know we're talking about Cephas, but let's take Cephas out of the picture right now. Like we said, this is a pattern, this is a trend. Like Fagon said, it's not unique. This is not just unique to this government, it's been happening. Would you consider this an effective strategy? Like Dr. Peabody was talking about, the day the vice president was there, it was supposed to have been a good day because they were launching something that was supposed to benefit the student population, right? But obviously there is an overarching anger that is lingering. So would you consider this an effective strategy, or should we now begin to start to have a larger conversation on how we address some of the issues that we have, whether it's at the university or as a nation?
And that's a great question, Ben. It is not an effective strategy. However, look at the context that we have. We have a university, perhaps, that have not given steps or guidelines for the students to address the issues, or have not been open to have the students explore the issues, or we have a government that perhaps have not addressed. Like we're asking for Sisulu, how is he doing? When was the last time our government had a press conference to speak to those students to say, yes, we acknowledge, which the government did acknowledge, something wrong happened with Sisulu, but this is the aftermath. We are supporting him. We send him away. This is how his health is doing. This should not be happening in our country. So it is not the right way. But again, the context is what is our students supposed to do?
Which other way? You trying to
and I want to remind you guys also that historically, even in this country, students have protested.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's not an isolated event or issue that is happening only in Liberia. This is kind of, students have always done some kind of protest or unusual behavior, civil disobedience. Let me call it that, because it wasn't even a protest. It was they always behave in a disobedient way. But yes, my fear actually when I saw that was for Serena Cephas. Anything could have happened to him. I'm glad that he's safe. I'm glad that that he didn't get hurt. But on the other hand, we need to find a pathway to address these issues. In fact, right after that incident happened, someone in our government should have at least arranged some kind of conversation with the students, with the faculty members, and have it made public. Let's discuss this. Let's be open that these things are happening. Why are these students angry? Why are they calling Cephas a rogue? That's what I was saying. What's going on in our society? So let's look at it contextually, but it's not an effective way.
But I would just end with then I can turn your gavel over to you. I was just end on this note. And I think maybe if I go on, somebody can chime in on this afterwards. My thing is, this is also speaking to the larger context. Forget the University of Liberia alone. This is also a larger context to what we do now in Liberia. Even our politics has been militarized. Even when you look at youth wings, when you look at when you look at different groupings that are now part of the fabric of our politics, I think it's become a way of life. And don't get me wrong, I think student political parties on the University of Liberia has always had this militancy side to them, whether it's the khaki uniform with the berets. That I think, and that is something that have come down to the larger context. So even if you find a group organizing a gathering, you hear the battle cries, you hear all of those different things. But the reason I asked the question is because someone said to me, you get more out of honey than you get out of vinegar, right? And this is not about CFOS. Again, like I said, this is about what has happened over and over and over in our larger society. So Fagon, maybe I should ask you before Dr. Richardson come on, and I want to ask you that question also. Is this an effective strategy? It may have worked, right? Because you've had Alaric Tokba, you've had Ezekiel Pajibo, you have all of these strong men and women, some of them, I may not know their names, that went through the walls of the University of Liberia, that stood up for just causes, whatever way. I mean, they had the university newspaper called React during the Doe years, where they would drop those leaflets, But let's also state that was a different time, though, right? We didn't have social media. We did not have the level of freedom we have in our country today as far as press freedom, all of those things. So is this a legitimate debate that we should start to have, Fagon, that maybe we should start to tweak the way we do some of these things? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Say that again, please.
No, I was asking regarding the strategy. Mm-hmm. Do you think this is has this strategy outlived itself? Is it still effective? Because like I gave you the example, right? In the 80s, the late Mabutu Yimba told me a story about how they used to drop React around this newspaper called React. I mean, I was born 1981, so I don't know, I wasn't old enough to know. I'm just listening to stories, right? He told me about them dropping newspapers called React in the middle of the night. You wake up in the morning, you see the paper all over the place. But like I said, Fagon, we didn't have social media then. We didn't have press freedom during that time where anybody could just get on the radio and talk, right? So where we are today in our country and in our society, the evolution that we have seen within our politics and within our social fabric, is this still an effective strategy? Like I said, let's take CFOS out of the picture for a moment and let's have a larger conversation. That was the question I was asking you.
Well, thank you, Ben. When you talk and I laugh, the reason I laugh, you say, I was born 81. And like this thing happened when you were 4 years old, when Doto, Defense Minister Grady Allison, you may move or be removed.
Yes, yeah.
And Grady Allison said a student threw a rock that landed on his chest. And that was an attack, and so they had to move on them. Well, I just listened to one of our panelists say, when they free the students who were there, I'm like, who the people, I was like 15, 16-year-old at that time. So how you were there? I used to carry you on if you go play football in Bomi. Let me say this here. The strategy has not outlived itself. I wish Good Day could just show you the video for 15 seconds, Ben, so you can see the building. See the building, see the road. See the building. Look at the bus coming down. Look at the sound. Look at the side. Can't breathe down. Look at the police thing. See it for yourself. Look, everything. Look at the benches that the people sitting. Look at the play Now, you see?
Yes.
You saw what you saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you ask whether the strategy has outlived its usefulness. I mean, this is a university campus.
Mm-hmm.
You took $11 million you give it for rest that we didn't see. Bro, give me $11 million, we already get day. We already get cross rocks. We don't want to own the beaches. How am I saying you need to fix that place? What do you need to give those children a campus for them to smile? Then the strategy you're talking about. See, you know, you were talking about, I heard Dr. Peabody. Dr. Peabody, you want the children to be civil. Yes, you are absolutely correct. I side with you on that. But when they decided to be civil and they went to the United States Embassy, which was their right under Article 17, in a civil manner, what did you do to them? You sent COP and CDC militants. They beat them up brutally and naked them. And yes, how do we know? Because they were arrested and charged. I repeat, they were all arrested and charged after pressure from the international community. So we can say that not CDC do it. No, it was CDC. They were arrested, charged under the law, right? What has become of that case? Nothing. So this is not merely a strategy. This is a reaction to an action. This is the antecedent, wherein you look at a group of people, you marginalize them, you take advantage of them, you brutalize them. Okay, they can't cross the road because the Capitol building is there. The executive mansion is heavily guarded. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is there. And behold, the police station, Central, is there. So if you come on their territory, right there, they are not adults again now, Ben. You and I know. They are what? Students. If they go over the fence, they become citizens, adults above the age of 18. When they're in the fence, they're students. And the only way the media will carry is that students were beating on the university campus. So I will say to you, to answer your question, it's not a strategy. It is a reaction to an action. And that action have resulted in the reaction we are getting today. And unless the government can adjust itself to the demands of the students, this is the video today. Look at the benches university students sitting on, man. Let's be real.
You know, I will
11 million for rest.
I will say this, Fagon.
1 million.
Fagon, I will say this, and I.
Then you muted.
Who?
What? I'm sorry. Say something.
No, somebody keep muting me.
No,
but
no,
let me
your
say
internet
this.
brought from a real.
No, not my internet. Trust me, I know. But I will say this though. I agree with you. It is a stain on the conscience of that country, on that nation, that the University of Liberia, Liberia's premier center for learning, is in the condition that is in. I think there's no excuse whatsoever. I've been a proponent. I said that over and over, and I will continue to say it. At the end of the day, we have to put our money where our mouth is. And I agree with you on one thing, that there must be increased budgetary allotment to finally start to fix some of the issues that is being dealt with in that, even just the environment, the sanitary environment, the buildings, all of those things. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Ben, I will chime in, right? But you know, let's be honest. The democracy that we enjoy in Liberia today It was earned through the blood and sweat of students, from Liberian student population.
Yeah.
I remember carefully. Like I remember I was in Nigeria, '92. Our University of Lagos, UNILAG. He had student leaders in Nigeria at that time. Like this guy Abdul Amunu Mahamud Abdullah Sultan and Omoyele Sowore. These were student leaders who challenged the military government of Babangida Abacha. He challenged them on issues of human rights and so forth. Even President Senator Commander Wise, 1981, he was banned when he engaged President Doe. So one of the, you know how to avoid these things? Engage them. Like my brother here, Ben, sitting here, have Ben gained international prominence, or because Chancellor engaged universities at that conference, the All Liberian Conference of 1998. Were there. Ben was a senior student at Cathedral, right? And Ben and a few students, they gave some passionate speech, and Taylor was moved.
They call it man handsome ball.
They challenged Taylor. They say, you got prisoners in jail today. Taylor said, you're sure? So you're carrying them there. When it came up, man gave a powerful speech that day. And Taylor said, look, I will break record today. You'll be the first presidential youth advisor. I got Ben King national prominence. I was there at that All Liberian Conference. So there were students who the answer is that, look, when such thing happening, engage. Don't run away from students. Engage them. Chancellor did it. He one-on-one with students. I on TV. He did it. Engage them. You got to engage. Don't run from the students. Make it worse. Get up in your car. Say, what's it? Okay, let me talk to you. What's happening? And last thing too, militarization of people wearing the berets, dressing in militancy. I mean, people shouldn't be doing that stuff. Wearing dressing some militants. It breach to such a problem that we're experiencing today. So if I'm an official of government and my conscience is clear, whatever the case, when they bully me, I will get from the car. I'll say, okay, let's talk. I think they managed to do in Sierra Leone, Shaka Stevie. When they're cussing and booing, you get down. You know it costs them too, or you engage them. But
to Ellie's credit, she did it.
Ellen
did
it. Black Ellen Convo.
She got out from the car. Yeah.
When the students are doing these things, don't run from the children.
Yeah.
They're human beings. So okay. And mind you, if you do that, they will calm down. So they will start, okay, it's like, let's dialogue, let's talk.
Yeah.
But I think Fagon painted a very, very brilliant picture that I can't get out of my head, is that look at the road versus the car that was being
I like what he said when he said it's a reaction.
Yes.
It's not a strategy, it's a reaction to a situation. I like that.
Reaction to what is happening. Look at the building, look at the road, and we call this our first class university. And look at how Serena Sifa was dressed in the car that he was driving. And against the backdrop of the children who was, pounding on that car. So for me, that's an image thing. And again, it tells us the experience of the children who are at the university and what they are reacting to. So I think we can we can close this subject right now.
Chime in there.
Please go ahead, Dr. Peabody.
What I would say is that I think what the government need to do is to start a kind of engagement with the students, with the student leaders and the authority. Maybe monthly, meet on a monthly basis, regroup, and see how you can, address some of the issues that a student are faced with. I've advocated for the student before on this when they were giving them classes online by WhatsApp and all of that. I remember my stance. There's a lot of things. One of the things I think some of those students suffer for is like computer. In a modern day, government should this time, students should be provided at least one laptop. Laptops are very cheap these days, and stuff like that. We help the student really engage, steady, and
are you breaking up a little bit?
agree with anything. All the
Peabody, what's going on here?
Really bring down the image of the university, because you know what, you don't even have the one you have there. If you get up and start breaking it and start destroying it and then you won't have anything left. Then your education will be delayed. We know how Many of the students have been delayed at the university. Either it closed down for something, and you have people, getting older and they're trying to go to school and stuff like that. So I think what the government needs to start is like a monthly dialogue with the students and just get to know what's going on. Familiarize yourself with some of the issues that a student are faced with and then be able to address it. But I don't support violence because somebody could get killed one day at the university. I don't want to go there one day and say, "Oh, this people that he was talking against," and then everybody gang against you, and they're doing that. And I just hope the government can look into that and engage the student on the monthly dialogue thing. Thank you.
Okay, let me come
Any
in.
other thoughts on this?
Let me come in on this.
I think careful on it too.
Let me come in on this. I think Ben, you went in. You being dishonest by going into the dishonesty of a gun. That's how I would tell you, Ben. Who the student car the banging on? Who is Serena Cephas? Serena Cephas do have any problem, or Serena Cephas the one supposed to fix that road? Is Serena Cephas the one supposed to fix that benches? That's Serena Cephas' job. That is complete dishonesty that you fed into Fagon. Dishonesty. No. This government took 5 years. You remember, we have Yellow Machine. We're on that ground with McGill and 12 were on that ground. The students attacked them. To come and say it's the reaction, I think that's complete dishonesty. It's not a reaction. They're being political. There is a channel. You know where the students need to go to talk about those benches that you're talking about? Capitol building. That's where the budget is being discussed. There should be, the budget is, the 2023 budget is about to be discussed. They need to go there to tell the lawmakers, we want something there. They have lawmakers. But to praise the student or to say, oh, that's the reaction and fall into the dishonesty of Fagon, I think you've been dishonest, Ben. I will say that to you. I will say that to you because the student need to channel their disagreement or what they have at the Capitol building. That bench you're talking about, that row you're talking about, at Capitol building, they need to go where the budget is being discussed. Not banging on people's car. When people want things to be done in America, they go to the Capitol building. They go to the lawmakers. They're not banging on somebody's car or Serena Cephas' car. What's the former SG get to do with that road? That's his job. So they should bang on his car. You see the video, they're banging on the man's car. Don't say that it's a reaction. What those 12 graders doing who will go there? What they will say? That's the way of life? No. Let's tell our students to go to Capitol building and channel the disagreement. They need to go to Capitol building where the senators, they're who discussing the budget. If they don't vote for the budget won't pass. That's where they need to go. They need to flood that Capitol building, talk to the senator, the lawmakers. They have 2 senators in Monserrado. Go to them. They in districts. If I may say, that district maybe should cover under Carol's Graham. I may be wrong or correct. I don't know. I left Liberia district or not there, so I don't know much about the districts. But go to your lawmakers. Go there. But to come and say it's a reaction, why McGill and 12 were there and the Yellow Machine were there trying to fix the road, they stay attacked. Why the Vice President, Dr. Peabody, you were talking about, was there for something to benefit them. They react. They reacted the same way. Don't we praising it? We need to channel our children, our brothers, our sisters to go to the rightful place. And the rightful place is the Capitol building.
So, Dr. Richardson, can I respond for 30 seconds?
Sure. Yeah, I think both for us because it was.
So I need to.
30 seconds, Ben Savvy, 30 seconds.
Let me finish.
Let me finish.
So let me end with this. What I want to say, Ben Savvy and Fagon, I want you guys to clearly disagree with me that the Capitol building is the wrong place to channel your argument.
Okay, so let me just provide some clarity here, and let me correct you, because the context from which I was speaking and I was agreeing with.
You are agreeing with.
They may cut you off. They should
let me finish.
So before you agree, you got to know what.
So you don't want to tell me how to answer my question?
No, but you agree.
But let me provide my clarity, then you will understand what I'm doing.
Kefa, so thank you. Yes, go ahead.
So first of all, let me tell you the context of it. If you notice the question that I asked, I specifically said, let's take CFOS out of this picture. I was speaking from a historical context. And the question I asked was, is this strategy, have this strategy outlived itself? And Fagon was responding to me asking about the strategy. And he said, it's not a strategy. It's a reaction to the situation that they find themselves in. And the reason I agree with that is because there is a tendency when people tend to feel like they are abused or they're in a difficult situation, sometimes they don't even see positive. So you have a situation where
James, can you thank you very much?
You're sending the wrong message.
Yes, can you please?
So let me say this. The day the vice president went to the University of Liberia was a good day. We are in a country where we are encouraging people to start doing things other than political science and sociology. Because when they say University of Liberia graduation, you have a lot of people doing political science, sociology. You know, we need doctors, we need engineers, and what she was doing there that day was launching a school for fisheries and aquaculture, which is commendable. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because what they were reacting to or what they were doing that day, I don't agree with it. I don't agree them calling the VP names. I clearly don't. But what I was trying to say is our students, and this is where I disagree with you, Kev. Our students don't have to go to the Capitol building to get their due. They don't. You know why? Let me tell you why they don't have to. Because it is the responsibility of government to deliver. When the president made a decision,
the government don't deliver.
Saying what I want to say. You need to stop.
You prolonging the feedback to you.
Let me finish saying what I want to say. When the president made a decision to do free education, did the students go bang on his door? They didn't. They did not. They did not go bang on his door.
Okay, 30 seconds.
I come in, Dr. Richardson. It's important for us to learn on this.
Okay.
It was the president's vision. He had his vision. He had his thought. He said, I will make the university free. Nobody went and go begging for it, and we commend him for that. So that's the same angle I'm coming from. To renovate the University of Liberia, to make the University of Liberia conducive for our people to learn, they don't have to go bang on the doors of their elected officials. It should be a given. And that is where I agree when Fagon said they are reacting. Does it mean that I condone the action of beating on people's cars? Hell no, I don't. But guess what? When you put people in situations where they feel they have no other way to channel, you get situations like this. So we do need to, and I'm glad we're having this conversation, because we do need to have a larger conversation about costs and effects.
Okay. Minister Fagon.
Oh, Lord. You know, when you don't know, you don't know. I repeat, when you don't know, you don't know. Who is CFOS? What happened to CFOS recently? he was sanctioned by the US government, and President Weah asked them to resign. For what? Corruption. And what do we say? If you're corrupt, you stop schools from being built. You stop bridges from being built. You are corrupt, it means you are taking away something from the larger or general population. Now, I want to tell my brother Kev, do you know why they were banking on Cephas' car? Because Cephas resigned as a result of corruption. You don't know Cephas more than me, that's my brother. But I'm saying to you, why they bank on Cephas' car? Because Cephas resigned as a result of corruption. If Cephas wasn't corrupt, as he is not, because he's not proven guilty, but his own government made him resign, as if to say he's already guilty.
Okay, Minister Fagon.
So if you don't know why they were banging on Cephas' car, it's because Cephas went on the campus in a flashy vehicle, like you said, that is even far better than the roads the vehicle is driving on. And so I want to tell you, Ben was not being disingenuous. Ben only asked a question, and I answered the question the way I choose to.
20 seconds, Mr. Fagon.
In my 20 seconds to you, Kev.
Can we let's just have a general conversation?
That's why I'm saying, in my 20 seconds to you, Kev, it's not that Ben was supporting me. And I will repeat, the reaction you saw was as a result of the action taken against the students and the inaction on the part of this government. And thank you for admitting that students now must go to Capitol building to go discuss budget instead of government taking care of our responsibility. It shows gross ineptitude on the part of the government and insensitivity.
Thank you. Since your name was called several times, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, thank you.
We've got to move on to our next topic for the night. Okay, please.
Thank you. Listen, we should not condone the action by the student and say it's a reaction. Cephas were accused. He's not charged. So because because it's an allegation that will Cephas go somewhere, he should bang on his car. That's what we are saying. You're not supposed to attack anybody because under our constitution, everybody is protected by the law. Banging on his property, on his car, is against the law. And again, you don't come and say, okay, government have to provide for me. So let's wait the government provide. You have free education, you have this, you have certain things. So if you see some things that you don't have, you can still go and request. Where do you go and request? Go to your lawmakers. That's what they're there for. The lawmakers are there to channel your disagreements. So government can provide everything for you, but if you still need more, you go. In this country, students still, the American government take care of the people, but they still protest. They still go to the Capitol building. So that notion that Chemeben said, if you provide, they will not do it. No, it's not like that all over the world. Students still go on the street because their needs are still need to be met. They're still out there. We see students every day. Every day. The University of Maryland that my daughter go to in Maryland, they come out. They come out. But they do channel the disagreement in a civilized way. That's what I'm saying. So to say the reaction is something that we should celebrate or say, because of the reaction. CFOS don't have anything to do. CFOS is an allegation. Are we saying that if any allegation against anybody, the people of Liberia should attack them? Are we living in the gangster paradise? Are we living in a place that because of allegation they should attack you? What kind of country that? That's what we're preaching. And Cheme Ben, you know what it did. You said it was wrong. There is no way you should agree with Fagon, because all Fagon want to see is chaos.
Okay, we are moving along.
Chaos you want to see. The more chaos happen in the university,
I'm gonna move along.
it is more Fagon want to see.
Kev, your government said they were investigated. They were investigated.
Fagon, out of order.
So that's the
Please, let's wait. Let's wait. Kev Hassan, thank you. We're moving on to our next.
You're gonna be waiting for 10 minutes. Oh.
We're moving on to our next conversation, and our next conversation is about the Western clusters. That was in the news, and so I'm actually going to give you the honor, Mr. Fagon, to please explain to us, update us on what is happening with the Western cluster, especially with the court situation. I know court Yami Bese basically made an order to halt operation. So let's start with you, and then we'll go back to Tomali to make his thoughts. Please update us.
Well, yes, we filed a lawsuit. I don't know if James have got a copy to share with you all, with the Supreme Court. And yes, the Justice in Chambers put a stay on it. I don't know if you also have the newspaper. And the Senate had done so first. And now the Supreme Court, pending the outcome of a conference on February 14 at 11 o'clock. We're going to be paid our lawyers, the first 1,000 plus. We're going to be reaching out to our citizens here again in the diaspora to help our poor people on the ground put some money together here and send it like I did first to initiate. I think the Supreme Court did the right thing. And the right thing is, please listen, these people taking our iron ore from here, they're stealing our iron ore, we ain't got nothing. The Supreme Court said, whoa, y'all wait. Until y'all can come to us and we listen to the case, y'all don't take no more iron ore from over there. Y'all don't do no work until we can hear, this is the paper, and until we can hear exactly what the situation is over there. And what we're looking for from the court is to save our county. A lot of people go to the court and ask for justice. Yes, it's true we're asking for justice, but we're also asking for them to save our county. And here is why. The senator came on this platform and said that company have spent over 200 million. Where we don't know that the company had spent another extra 100 million. Where we don't know. Now he comes back and says they went for the negotiation, and out of 24 million, they waived about 13 point something million and settled for 10. Now, where we got our disagreement that we know the court is going to look into, the senator lied and said there is no way an MOU can supersede an MDA. Well, it is written in black and white that this MOU supersedes the MDA, and it carries the signature of the finance minister, Lesser Mines, Justice, and National Investment Commission. The court is going to look at that. The senator said that this MOU expired after 6 months. We were able to prove on the document bearing the signatures of the people that the document says that this agreement will be negotiated after 6 months. The negotiations with the MDA will continue. It didn't say the MOU will cease to exist. Secondly, the Senate is trying to find out under whose authority was the almost 14 million waived. And that thing, while 2 hours talking, they play doing a hand like this. The person said, no. Who authorized the waiver of the 13-point-something million? For us in Bomi, we know we've been cheated. For us in Cape Town, we know we've been cheated. For us in Bapolu, we know we've been cheated. 300 million through confession from the people who mouth. And look at our counties. Then you turn around, you say from St. Paul Bridge to Tottenburg, I will give you 1.5 to face the road. But from St. Paul Bridge, where I can spit into the Freeport of Monrovia, I will give you 3 million.
Okay, Mr.
So
Farmer.
where we are with the case, your question is at the Supreme Court. We're praying the Honorable Court to grant us relief. And this idea is important for me to stress this. Oh, Snow brought jobs. You are right on this platform. I need nobody to say they are not witness. Nobody from Bomi was hired. They brought in 6 Indians. I shouldn't say nobody, because the same brown guy and Snow, brother-in-law or nephew, Tape. So those 2 people. Apart from that, they brought in their own truck drivers. They brought in their own people into our county, and they took our iron ore. So we got the worst side. No money, no employment, no school, no hospital, no offices, nothing. And so that's where we are. And we'll fight this case with our people being on our side and God being on our side. We pray for justice from the Supreme Court.
Thank you. Thank you. If you're just joining us, we transition to speak about the Western clusters. We will have a guest coming on later on to speak more elaborate on the situation. This was in the news today, and this is why we're talking about it again, especially with the recent news of the halting of operation on the mines. Tomalin George, your thoughts briefly. We're just going to share our comments about it.
Well, when it comes to the Western cluster, right now it's in court, and I think we all know we have problems with the MDA and so forth, and the people of Bomi, we know that they weren't treated fair in that deal. But right now we only hope let the matters go. The court adjudicate the matter, and so. Not much we can say. We have discussed it. It wasn't clustered in length. We have discussed it. So we have gone all to it. We have had people from all sides come on the show and talk about it. So right now, not much we can say until on the court ruling. So for me, we're already discussing in length. So the court.
I just wanted to update in terms of the halting of operations. That's all. After we had discussed it. Anything you want to add, Kev Hassan?
What shows that that we live in a society in Liberia that even if you're wrong or you have a misleading information to the people, but under this pressure, you do have your day in court that you can go and file your grievances, and the Supreme Court will hear you. That's the Liberia that I envision for me and my children and family member in Liberia, that we have a court system that is working and shows that the government is working in the interest of the people, that you can come and it doesn't matter who you are. You can be anti-government. You can be anti-government propagandist, and then you file your case in court, and you have a day. So it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful country. I think Liberia is heading in the right direction. That anti and government or people can show that they have a day in court. What a beautiful day! What a beautiful country under this president.
Thank you. Chairman Ben-Savi, your thoughts on the Western clusters?
Thank you, Captain. But let me agree with what he said. I think.
So you agree that anti-government people, we the people with anti-government.
So you see, now Fagon interrupted.
Now why you laughing? And why you laughing? Because he said
Fagon interrupted me now. Careful, the one interrupted me.
The fellow people and the black people.
Yeah, my man. But agree with him. I know y'all miss me on this show, but it's okay. Let me turn up.
No, you agree with him. Anti-government people.
Yeah, we have a show. We watch.
You know I enjoy it. Why I agree. Kev interrupted me, so I said I agree with Kev. I go even let me talk.
I don't want to know if we anti-government.
No, first of all, no, but in all seriousness,
yes, sir.
In all seriousness, I think this is the way to go. I think, I mean, I think Fagon is a part of this. He's a party to this litigation, this thing before the Supreme Court, and I think this is his constitutional right. So are the people of Bomi, the people of Cape Mount, and the people of Bapolu. I think those are the three counties. They feel a good portion of them feel injured by this MOU or MDA. That they're doing, and I think you go to the highest court in the land. You because that's the court. That's the platform that will, in the end, determine what happens. Because when you go to the Supreme Court, you can't go nowhere else. You got to agree with what they say, or you respectfully disagree and you submit. That's how it works, right? So I do agree, and I think what I agree with Kev on is the fact that we do live in a. Let me make the clarity before I go through me up to. So I agree with Kev that we do live in a country where the law should be the law and the law should take its course. And Fagon, even if Fagon is anti-government now, like he is clearly, you can see, he has a right to even though he's still a member of the CDC, though, by the way, he has a right to go to the court, petition the court, and say, you know what, Supreme Court, I feel injured, or on behalf of my people, would they feel injured, and we're asking you for some redress. So I agree with Tommy. I think let's wait and see. I think that's what we're going to be monitoring. We're going to be monitoring the updates from the court. And it's glad that we have Fagon here. He will provide us first-hand information because he is a party to this process.
So, Dr. Peabody, your turn, but I just want to, I know you come last sometimes, and we always try to ask you questions about the topic at hand. So do you think that citizens have to take the government to court before the government reacts on their behalf, like waiving $23.5 million that could have developed Bomi County? Do you think that's what should happen, that government should just do what they want to do? And then luckily, in the case of Bomi citizens, we have not heard from Cape Mount citizens or Bopolu citizens, that citizens have to rise up and take the government to court in order for the government to work on their behalf. What are your thoughts about that? And add that into, you can answer that if you want to, or you can just respond to the halting of the operation.
But what was it? CDC? I keep saying.
I think it's healthy.
Say what?
It's healthy. I think it's healthy for the democracy. People can definitely take their government to court if they have concern, if they have any displeasure over certain things. One reason I'm glad that this issue is going to go to court is we're going to find out the facts, whether the government took an action abruptly or the government acted out of the law, and or the government acted in accordance with the law. So I won't speak to that, but what I will say here is I would like John with Tourmaline and wait for the Supreme Court to make the decision, but when it comes to whether people are entitled to take their government to court, of course you can do. That's why Liberia is a democratic nation, and like my friend Kes said, there's a good thing under this government that people are given the opportunity in court. So I think that's a good thing. But I'll wait for the court action and see what the Supreme Court says in regards to that.
Okay, great. That's awesome. So I'm going to kind of move over now to just allow you guys to basically discuss what came to your mind this week in Liberia, any significant topic that is present and was on your mind this week or today. I pretty much went through the newspaper, and we talked about some of the issues earlier. I don't know, issues relating to the journalists that have been attacked in the country. We talked about that already. We also talked about Benu Kromah, who is a female presidential candidate. I don't know if any one of you guys know. Her name is Benu Kromah. She's promising to give, if she becomes president, 300,000 jobs in Liberia.
Liberia?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
So she's joined the race with Mandela Cooper as in the race, yes. And then we also talk about Saudi Arabia giving 29,000 bags of rice to Liberia. That would go to, I guess,
29,000 bags?
Yes, 29,000 bags of rice. Saudi Arabia will be giving us.
Metric tons?
I don't know.
That seems very small to me, though. But anyway,
that's what it seems to
be. I think it's metric tons.
Yeah, I was going to say 29,000 bags. All right.
Well, that's what
you're right, though. Maybe, yeah, we can.
Maybe I guess he can clarify that, but that's kind of what I wrote. It wasn't in metric tons, but it could be, I could be wrong, because the argument was that it wasn't nothing, for the country.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean,
so we basically kind of are free flowing now in our last segment of the conversation. It is almost 6 o'clock. We should be out of here by 6:30. So I'm going to give you at least 15 minutes to free flow, and then by 6:15.
Let me come on and say something that folks. I don't know if you permit me, that folks should talk about. That should and take on this framework document, the MDR, Prince Johnson, and all. You know, because I see folks and out there, especially my brother, I would say call him brother Fagon, on the side of Prince Johnson now. I want folks to discuss on this video that's about.
They may already put me in plenty party there. Now put me in Prince Johnson wiki.
You think I will be President George Weah, a citizen who has done the job perfectly, overqualified for the job, and has done the job for 4 years. Then I'll be letting Prince Johnson tell me, Senator Prince Johnson tell me, put my man there. Can't join the coalition. I say you're not supporting me, but you're not in my coalition, you're just supporting me. I respect that. But there are 3 areas I will not mess with. Petroleum products, commerce industry, and the communication sector. Agbere for waiting on what ground? Or because it's my paper? No. Those 3 areas are reserved for people who got my interests, because they are political weapons of mass destruction. I call them political weapons of mass destruction. You don't play with those 3 areas. You will not last a day in our office. So yeah, your man can be there, but the head of those 3 institutions will be people that answer yes sir to me.
Okay. There's another one again.
For almost 4 years, LTE. And if President Weah fool himself and say, oh, because Prince Johnson are my friend, or the other people then, they part of the coalition, I told you 3 things. If he try, he lose election, then I'm going to turn to Malato. If I'm not anything, I'm Malato. If he try, he lose election, then I'm Malato. Take your telecom LTE team and go put it in your friend in him, or your friend and family. Try it and see. If you lose election, then I'm Malato. Rice. Commerce. Petroleum. Communication. They're not era for you to do friendship. Now your party and your people can then get that place, those places. And if you try, you lose election, then I'm Malato.
Oh God.
Let's protect Kev. He's still
Yeah,
talking.
yes,
Oh my God.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy for myself.
let's
So
have
let me carry.
Okay,
Let's have this
please. Let's come to order.
Let's have the discussion now. For the past weeks, Fagon is attacking the government of Prince Johnson. You betrayed Prince Johnson. But Fagon is one of the person who told this president, attacking this president on Facebook, don't give Prince Johnson nothing. Don't wait. He's saying
I said 3 places he can't say nothing.
He's saying it. Don't give him nothing if they're your friend. One of the positions that the president gave, Fagon said no. He said that position, that weapon of mass destruction. And the president is saying to Fagon, I'm not running a CDC government. I'm running the Liberian people government. That's what this president is saying. But Fagon said on that tape, attacking the president of making a CDC government and say, death for sedition. It's there, you're listening. Don't give this position. That those 3 positions are position of mass destruction, weapon of mass destruction. And I'm asking all you panelists here tonight, is Fagon not talking on the both sides of his mouth? That he attacked Prince Johnson, he attacked the president. They're not supposed to get no position to Prince Johnson. Keep that position. And now he calling the president out and saying the president is not giving Prince Johnson, the president, back out of the agreement, the president not to be trusted. But as a minister, he attacked the president and he told the president, don't give Prince Johnson nothing. That's the tip. I bring it to you guys. Today, you guys can tell Fagon that he's talking on the both sides of his mouth. That what he's saying, he's not saying it out of truthfulness. He's saying it out of malice. Can we discuss that?
Okay, Minister Fagon, I'm going to allow you to be the last person to respond to this question that Kev has. So we're going to go on to Simile George first.
Yeah,
and then...
you don't make me first, I beg you.
I think that they're wrong because the man presented his case.
I think Fagon, yeah. Fagon defend
And
himself.
the other people have their thoughts.
Yeah, I will give an opinion. I agree
The man
that.
presented
That's my
his
opinion.
case.
The reason why I'm saying, because I know this has
Be back and forth, eh?
exactly.
Okay,
I want to say the back and forth.
I think that Fagon defend himself, and then we will render our opinion.
Okay.
based on what they have to say.
And he talked. And
Yeah.
let's say I didn't say a word. So how will it be back and forth? That means
Go ahead, Fagon. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Say that again.
I promise I will not say nothing. The
Well,
video
you remember the time now. We
Yes.
got less than 20 minutes, so that
Right there, Fagon.
Yeah, we gotta go.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What Kev just did was to say that the president dull. Because the advice I gave is exactly what the president did. Go to LPRC, she still making her job. Go to LTA, her tenure had expired. Mawani Dick's brother was running for it. Akisanya was running for it. Yeah, been there. Prince Johnson was running for it. Who got the job? What did I say in the beginning video? The person who have served perfectly for 4 years, and they are overqualified. 3 words I use. How is it that you will tell the president to remove those people who have served perfectly, they are overqualified, and they have the experience of 4 years? And then you say you will take it and get to Prince Johnson. Call Papa Prince Johnson in front of me. I will tell him the same thing. It's not feasible in any political structure. Now, why you do not give the petroleum, the commerce ministry, and communications, you know why? Kev? I didn't think we went to school for. Petroleum. If you messed up, the entire country is shut down. There is shock in the economic system of the entire country. All the prices of things will go up when gasoline price goes up. And you saw when gasoline shortage hit the country, there is crisis, Kev. I'm teaching, Kev. Pay attention. So you only give it, like I said, to people you trust, who answers yes, sir, to you, and are perfectly situated. You heard that word, Kev. They are overqualified, and they have served for 4 years. 2, commerce. What happens when rice disappears? Can you play with the Liberian poor rice? As president, you have to take somebody who is perfectly situated, overqualified, and have served for 4 years. You cannot make that mistake in Liberian politics with rice. 3rd, communications. You don't mess with communication because that is your lifeblood. So those 3 positions are not positions you negotiate because they are weapons of mass destruction. And today, I'm 18. Those are not positions you negotiate in any governing structure. It must be people that says yes, sir, to you and does exactly what you want them to do. Kev, you just elevated me. Bring Prince Johnson again. And you know what Mr. President did? He maintained the people in their jobs. He was not better. He was not Nomi. And yes, I challenge him. I said, give it. If you don't lose election, let me turn to Malato. And what did he do? What did he do? Did he give it? No, he did not. Go there now. We know Zakba is there. She maintained the job. Go to Public Works. She maintained the job. After the death of Babutu Nyimpa, she was acting. Go to LPRC, Uri. She maintained that job. Kev, your president pretends like he does not listen to Fagon, but he does. And had he listened to me in the beginning, when I said there are 5 positions in government you do not give to people outside of your party. 1, Mikat. He did it and he gave it to Eugene Nambe. That was screw us. 2, Foreign Affairs. He gave it to Bazonga Finlay. That screw us. It has to do with your foreign policy. 3, he took the national security and gave it to Ellen people. 4, the local government structure. He took it and gave it to Vani Salif, who he maintained there. Finance was the only one he gave to a sedition. And today, where are we? He did not listen to Fagon. Had he listened, we will not be where we are today. He is a one-term president.
Okay, so can
that statement, I'm the team. Because on the video, I didn't say, give it to a sedition. I said, perfectly situated, overqualified, and has 4 years experience doing the job. You do not take it from them and give it to your friend, your family, or somebody. And yes, I was right. He listened. So don't come here and say the president dull. Call up a different video, bring it.
Okay. All right. So can we chime in a little bit since this is the but let me I want to ask a question because I heard Fagon just now say the president should not have given 5 other positions to anybody except seditions. And he gave it to, you said 5 other cabinet posts. You need foreign affairs, finance.
He gave it to the people that we defeated.
Yeah. So were you pushing that the president should have a CDC only government? Is that what you, because the president, the counter argument could be that he formed a broad-based government, right? Because you say he gave it to the people you defeated.
No, okay, thank you, Ben, for the question. Thank you so much. Just be patient. 30 seconds will be enough for me. Ben, we came on the mantle of change. We did not come to maintain or retain. We came to change. So therefore, we should have changed, not maintain or retain. Now, there is something in politics called the deep state. If you are coming into government and you want to reshape your foreign policy so you can look good out there, do you maintain the person you defeated? If you're coming to government and you say the national security structure must be better than what it was, would you maintain the same national security posture? If you came to government and you're supposed to run the government and control the whole country, but the man from Unity Party you met there controlling the Unity government, local government structure, you maintain him. Does that mean you want to change? No. Now, you know propaganda. Here you are today. Yeah, Kev there. Kev spilling it on us. That you and myself, we're not correct people. But then the people we defeated in the propaganda war, you took Eugene Nangbe, maintain him at Bika, and took Ledger Hureni, and put him to LBS. Is that change?
So my last question.
So my thing is, no, let me learn.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Sambi joined us. Ben Sambi is outspoken. He saw our vision. You want to tell me Eugene Nangbe was better suited than Ben Sambi? No. We came with a coalition of almost 18 parties that joined us in the second round. You could not find qualified people there, Ben?
So
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so
maintain and retain.
So I want to ask you on the Prince Johnson thing, because the particular thing that Kev highlighted with Prince Johnson, I just took that part out of your statement that you were making.
Come by again, Ben. You already to know.
The Prince Johnson, I know, right? The Prince Johnson thing, I want to ask, but don't you think what you were, because what you were advocating at that point for the president not to do is what Prince Johnson is saying that he should have done. It's one of the reasons Prince Johnson is saying he's leaving the coalition, because he didn't get, in fact, Prince Johnson downplays the positions that he got. He said they just gave me post and telecom, they gave me deputy minister at commerce, which by the way is an important position. Webram Bagura position is a very important position. Deputy at commerce is a very important position. He talked about, he said there's not a lot of Nima people in the government and stuff like that. So your argument, what you were advising the president to do, is what Prince Johnson is arguing now. That listen, this is what you did. That's why I can trust you to go in.
I think you're wrong about that, because there are a lot of Lima people in the government. For example, Deputy Education Minister Toki from Nima.
No, I agree with you on that.
So, but Prince Johnson was advocating for his party for specific institutions. As you saw, I was very specific.
But you can't say. But do you know the institution Prince Johnson was advocating for? Because you clearly said that the president shouldn't give Prince Johnson, and you called out Prince Johnson. You don't call out any other party. You called out Prince Johnson by his name. You said because you're supporting. In fact, you went further and said, "Can't join the coalition. You need to be part of the coalition."
You get to ask the question. I get to answer.
Okay.
And then so Prince Johnson is from the MDR. Mm-hmm. This is not about Nima.
Okay, guys.
Wait, I beg you, Ben, just finish. It's about the MDR.
But he said Nima.
I called Prince Johnson out because Prince Johnson talked about the embassies, talk about areas in government. Then he named the LTA, for example, which is where Irina Zakpa is. Yeah. And have been there for almost 4 years. She's overqualified and so forth. Then he talked about LPRC. You saw the definition I gave you. It's not about people from another political party. It's about people who answers directly to the president. And so I was advocating that it shouldn't be based on the basis of party.
Yeah, but let me end on this note. Dominic and Kanye, then Dr. Richard and Taylor show. But I'm still finding it hard to understand where you're coming from.
Because those three instead, you know why you're finding it hard?
No, but Fagon.
Three specific.
Wait. Because the point here is Prince Johnson stated that the jobs that he got, that his party got, but were not important jobs. He said, you gave me post and tell, nobody posting, nobody sending mail, right? Okay. Which, by the way, post and telecommunications deals with telecom. The post and telecommunication minister also has oversight over the telecom industry. I think, in fact, to a certain extent, Prince Johnson is the only party. In fact, one of the complaints the MPP and the LPD people got is that they got no top cabinet position.
That's why they signed it.
All right, Ben. Let Tomali kinda.
So yeah, I'm coming back. Just 1 second. So far gone. What I'm asking you is, the president listened to you. The president listened to you. He did not give Prince Johnson them any lucrative or position of consequence. Prince Johnson is saying
no, you're wrong. You can't
position of consequence.
There are so many positions that are very lucrative in the government, apart from the 3 I need.
Okay, so your point is that all 3 you didn't want him to give.
And I gave you the exact reason why. So why you want to twist it?
Yeah, no, but
weapons of mass destruction in our political system.
But Fagon, I think I will give Kev a check on this one. Let me tell you why. Why.
That mean what in Jamaica are you?
Hey, my man, wait, man. You know how many times you went to Jamaica? Leave me, man.
No, they feel that you are in Jamaica.
I'm a political. Don't try to flip it. You won't tell me off battle when you talk about Jamaica. Let me say this, Fagon. No, but let me say this, Fagon. What I want to say, right? Let me say this. What I want to say is the exact thing Prince Johnson is accusing the government of is what you are encouraging the government to do. In all fairness. You are saying that if Prince Johnson, pretty much you are saying, Prince Johnson, you signed our coalition document, we're not going to give you anything of substance. And I want to beg to agree that the president agree with you, and that's the reason. So why are you now saying Prince Johnson right?
You got over 2 times.
Please, so get close to show.
But Fagon reasoning, that means President we have a win.
Free portal.
You got a president gets us a job to help people.
Let protect Tomali, please.
If we listen to Fagon reasoning, that means President we have a win, because you said so that what you said. I mean, but you're saying that he will not win again. So you're saying now
exactly.
You said you advise the game, you follow it, but then you said he will not win still.
Exactly.
Good question to me. What did I say? You wait. Don't rush. I said if you take those 3 positions, I'm specific to 3. You people stay dancing around, you will come back to the 3. If you give those 3 positions to any other political party member that will not listen to you, if you don't lose election, let me turn to Malato. Because rice, you don't joke with A in Liberia. Petroleum, you don't joke with A in Liberia. Communication, 3-day free call, it costs you already.
Yeah, but
so I don't
talking about.
I thought you're defending President we are.
Exactly.
You said I was sitting right in the house. Look at my share. Look at the wall on the video. Yeah, the wall. Yeah, I go different place.
But if you listen to that reasoning, that means your reasoning you give. That means President we are win re-election. Because what you are saying, if he follow your advice.
But he had to. It's the right thing
to do.
So I mean, you agree that he would, because you said if he don't follow your reasoning, he will not win. That's what you said.
I didn't say if you don't. I said if you don't do that, if you don't lose.
You think I will be President George Weah, a citizen who has done the job perfectly, overqualified for the job, and has done the job for 4 years. Yeah, I'll be letting Prince Johnson tell me, Senator Prince Johnson tell me, put my man there. Can't join the coalition.
Exactly.
I'm saying you're not supporting me. But now in my coalition, you're just supporting me. I respect that. But there are 3 areas I will not mess with. Petroleum products, commerce industry, and the communication sector. Agbere for waiting on what ground? Or because my pape? No. Those 3 areas are reserved for people who got my interests, because they are political weapons of mass destruction.
Okay.
I call them political weapons of mass destruction.
So now, I want these are comrades. I want these are comrades. A presidential confidant to the president. And we're not talking about at LTA, a confidant to the president. And then LPRC, you got URE. So come on. So then, Fagon, come on now. Fagon, that be.
Where are we?
So where are we? It tells you.
You said he got
his confidence in those places.
Yeah.
Yes. And I told him when Prince Johnson made a request, what did I say? And not even Prince Johnson, you take it, you get to anybody, you will lose elections because they are weapons of mass destruction.
So he didn't give it to anybody, so that means he will win.
Okay.
You want to tell me the persons are named? They reach out in finance.
Okay, so let's
They reach out in maritime.
I'm spinning
Alpha,
now.
that's what you said.
He's spinning now. Let's go.
Alpha, you trying to spin it now. That's what you said. Yeah, man.
It is 6:20, guys.
Maritime.
Let's
Let's let y'all
What
close
they
then.
2 minutes to close our closing. Everybody,
But
2
don't play
minutes.
with rest, gasoline, and
2
the
minutes.
free call
to do
telephone.
Our closing. It is 6:21. Timberland, let's
Hey,
go.
Joe, we are listening to me. I'm going to
Look,
lose the
let
election.
me say this, right? I gotta go, so let me say this quick. But the reason it was
let me come
it was
here, Tomlin.
But Kev, you're gonna be closing.
Yeah, Kev, you are close.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
it was a
Go
great
ahead.
show. Yeah. And the issue about the John has been threatened.
Tomlin, that the closing will do that. Don't change it till right now. The closing.
I'm closing now. Yeah.
I'm
closing my closing comment. The issue about John has been threatened. Is something that we should take serious. The press union should take serious about it. If John's will do their job. I mean, we witness what happened to Charles Bayon, and now out of John's lost their lives in our country. When the Johnnies are going after these corruption cases, people try to go after them. We should take it serious. And I hope the guys report the matter to authorities and also to the international bodies so they can be aware those who've been threatened. PYJ and Pazogia, say we call the Council of Churches and the Interfaith Mediation Committee to escalate, to get involved. I'll repeat. I witnessed the two guys during the crisis. Zogia over MPFL, PYJ IMPFL. Whenever they met on the front line, it was deadly. And even though the guns are silent now, but you want to see them going escalating this thing. So I think somebody should intervene and let them cool off, and he can decide who you want to support. They can decide who they want to support and move on. But it shouldn't escalate. And then with CFOS, we all said it. Look, we're going to see it happening. The culture changing. People are going to be going. And my thing is that people should pray. This thing shouldn't escalate shouldn't spread throughout the country. Where official government go out there, the students gather, the citizens gather and start booing you, and on the campaign trail and so forth. So that you be mindful. And then there's something going on between Musa Belete and Mo Ali. We'll discuss it maybe tomorrow or so. I see them exchanging what they're going for war and war. They accuse each other of the CPP split and what's happening. And so one group is calling for opposition unity. I heard a VP, former Vice President Boyga on the VOA. He calling for, I think he joined toward opposition unity, and other stories are saying no. So a lot of things happening. Hope they can solve that puzzle for their own interest. And lastly, look, we should be mindful that elections are coming. People will be fighting for everything. And just to end, the 4 counties that will be battleground counties that will decide elections: Lofa, Bong, Nimba, Magibi. Lofa, I see the fight between JMB and the CDC there. Bong, I see the PUP, the UP people that fighting in that era. Nimba, the ANC, MDR, and CDC on our fight. And then Magibi, the ANC, PUP, LPDP, and CDC on our fight. Watch these counties. The council will be this council will decide the election. That's why it will be. And watch what I'm saying today. Joseph Boyka, or Cummings, or Tiawan, whoever, all the top candidates, the VP will come from one of these counties. Okay, I mean, Abaso there, yeah, but these 4 counties, one of them will have the vice presidential candidates coming from these counties. So just watch this space. But that reason, I'll give my birthday greeting later on, or after I'm gonna do one for all.
Do it one for all.
Something I'm trying to say you're closing now. Then you want to weigh again, come. What kind of deflection now? Yeah. Tommy will be good, man. Let's continue our show, man. Tommy will be good. How about Tommy?
Let me see. Kev, go ahead. Do your closing.
Listen, Dr. Richardson, Ben.
But just stop it, man. Stop pushing people around.
We're having
just stop it, man. Who doing it? Stop it, man. Don't do it. Don't do this to people, man.
Tommy,
come back with your birthday announcement.
You come back to do your birthday, man. So, Tommy, you want to deflect the attention from Fagon flip-flopping. You know, the Liberian people are smart, man. Fagon is asking the government he attacking the government, saying the deal between Prince Johnson, the MDR, and the government failed to come through on the deal. He attacking, don't trust his government, don't believe. But on tape, he telling the government, don't listen to Prince Johnson, don't give Prince Johnson nothing. If Prince Johnson wants something, can't jump. Don't do it. And he went as far as saying, if you do it, you will lose the election. If you lose, I will become mulatto. You're telling the government, don't give Prince Johnson nothing. You on tape. And now you're saying different thing. You on Prince Johnson's side. And you're attacking the government. Why you give Prince Johnson? That's how we should treat our people. We should treat our people because when you're there, you say something on the other side. You there, you say something on the other side. No, you can't treat our people that way. The reason we're playing those tapes, if our people or some of them who on the live, you say, oh, Fagon, you brilliant, you make it sense to know that Fagon is playing you. Because Fagon to Prince Johnson, don't do this. Told the government, don't give Prince Johnson nothing. Then now he on Prince Johnson's side. That's what I want us to look at. That's the question. And the question to Fagon, why are you now on the side of Prince Johnson and tell Prince Johnson and tell Prince Johnson you should ask for this? Why you want Prince Johnson to get this job that you said the president should not give Prince Johnson? Why are you telling Prince Johnson not to get it? It's because you're no longer a minister, or because you got fired, so you're on a mission of takedown. That shows that my brother Fagon don't have the interest of the Liberian people. He on a personal mission to take down this government, and that personal mission has been exposed today. Now, and there's more tape out there. He attacking Prince Johnson brutally. He attacking Prince Johnson. But why are you on Prince Johnson's side today? So not only that, the other tapes that will come out that they attack the NPP, the LPDP, Tyler, them, and everything. He attacked. You guys saw the tape that he praised Benin Ayure and now called. There's another tape, and I will get it and bring it that he called him for Benin Ayure, calling you a war criminal.
Can you wrap it up, please?
The flip-flopping of politics of bringing things, of telling our people. That's what we're talking about. The thing I think we Fagon should be talking about. He himself said it here tonight. There's a lot of Nibadians working in this government. He said it tonight. It's there.
Okay, Kev.
So I will say this to you, Dr. Richardson, Tomlin George, Ben Savi. If you guys love the Liberian people, I think it's time to call Fagon out and say, you flip-flopping. What you're saying to the Liberian people, you're wrong.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go over to Minister Fagon. You will be here to carry us home.
To kind of keep the peace because
yes, go ahead, Fagon. You're better.
Fagon like doing research right now. You know what you're classy like that.
Yeah.
There's no research yet for me flip-flopping. So he can.
Coming with.
I think my brother Fagon needs to step down today. Today, I will tell you, my brother, step down. You're more stronger speaking the truth, and you be on the side today. I will urge you as a brother, step down from this propaganda waging on the government. Come back to reality and speak the truth. Step down today, my brother.
Okay, Fagon.
Let's have a good country.
Yeah, the man interrupt you, so that the mentor don't interrupt.
Oh, no, I'm not interrupting. I want to see how he will defend telling Prince Johnson We will not give you nothing.
Okay, so let's be civil, please. Okay, go ahead.
You know, when Brother Kev came on this platform and said, when I was leaving Sierra Leone, you know who we saw? We saw Fagon. We saw Fagon when me and my brother was leaving Sierra Leone. People say I can attack Kev. They were saying now, Kev play video. They like grandpa smart. They heard what I said. And y'all will see plenty of video. But when Kev told you that thing, did Kev tell you what I said to him when he was going to the States? I said, but don't forget to, that Sierra Leonean passport you get, that Sierra Leonean birth certificate you get, now you need to go so. Now you tell him. As I say, you're not born in Liberia. As I say, you daddy, everybody na saloon they come out. But why you not wait for the refugee program? I tell me, say, me not to Liberian, me not to Liberian, me not Sierra Leonean. So I challenge Kev today, before I go to it, I challenge him to come and say he came to America on Liberian documents or as a refugee. So you see, you don't understand our English. That the point I'm trying to make. Me, as I be talk Leo, now I talk so. As I say, you don't tell people them say you meet me in a saloon. I been there. I they talk in a language. But I don't feel say you sabi talk me because you not picking where you left in Nalabra. You said 1984, yeah, Ben say you were 4 years old. But you said you were there to receive the student when they came.
That's why I beg you to wrap it up so we can go.
Oh, you see. When the saloon man they talk, we not stop them. Now when the man they talk, we not grab. What is the problem now? When the man be they talk, we not stop them. Now when the man they talk, now we not stop them.
Can we talk Liberian English?
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to be serious here, man.
Yeah, man, let go, man.
But the man said me, I know all things. So listen to this. There's so many jobs in the government. So many jobs. You got maritime. The 3 positions I talk about, they get money equal to maritime. The 3 positions I talk about, they get money equal to the free port. The 3 positions I talk about, they got money equal to Ministry of Finance. The 3 positions I talk about, they got money equal to Lands and Mines. I spoke from a strategic position as a citizen, not a foreigner who only spent a few years in my country. I spoke as a Liberian who know what happened in 1979, April 14. I know what happened when gasoline shortage hit the country. So I was very specific. I know when they took away Liberian people 3-day free call. I know what happened to my party. So I did not speak from a foreigner perspective. I spoke because I am a Liberian. When there is a gasoline shortage, we suffer. When there is a rice shortage, we suffer. And when you take away the people 3-day free call or their data, they suffer. That's the position from which I spoke. So I asked y'all now who want to put all kind of things around. And y'all can't answer, y'all saying now looking at me. The places, I mean the 3 places, they got money equal to the other places? No. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking politics. Because that's who I am, a politician. And Ben, let me say this to you. When it comes to video, you and I got videos. But Kev get video. Whether Kev can 18. That when I play here, Tomali can't agree. Kev get video. Kev ever talk one day. So, to be quite honest with you, there is a video here that I'm looking at when you say I was doing my research. You know that who video? That Ben Sanvi video. If I play that video, I think you won't come back on the set. I'm honest to God. But I'm saying to you, you and I have got videos. And the reason why we got videos is, the reason why we got videos is because of the role we play in our respective governments. And I'm saying that to you, and I put it to you again, Ben. What you saw on that video is the best thing that ever happened. I don't know what.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's happening here tonight. Yes. Ben Sammy, let's just go ahead.
Well, hopefully we can get Fagon back. I don't know. I think he lost. He's totally out of the studio. So, but let me say this. I don't know what video Fagon is talking about that he has about me that will make me not want to come back. There's nothing that I have said publicly. You know, one of the reasons why I'm very careful what I say, and people tend to say, "Oh, today Ben, we know what he owned, we know what he did," because I know these things are for the archives. What we say on these platforms, and Dr. Richardson, I think you always say that. What we say on these platforms will come back to haunt us, whether we like it or not. Somebody reminded me the other day. They said, "Ben, you did a video going after the president." Yeah, I think there was a video I did where I was really Tommy didn't run that video. But you know what I told the president? I said, "There's nothing that I said on that video that I did not say to George Weah privately." And you know why? That's the reason George Weah respects me. In fact, when I saw him the other day, we were talking about it. We laughed about it. And I told him, when I went to endorse George Weah, I looked him in his eye and I told him, I said, "I will not be quiet. They my support I'm giving you. Forget it. If you think you coming to get kumbaya, you joking." But having said that, so I'm looking forward to seeing what video Fagon is talking about. But having said that, I was trying to look at the angle of what he was saying and all of the things that Fagon was saying. For me, I think the president listened to, if we're going to go by the logic, I think he listened to him, right? Because Prince Johnson's argument has been all of the jobs that they received were inconsequential. They were not important. They were this, they were that, So as a result of that, all of, so that, they're leaving. And there was even a point that Fagon raised, which I wish he was here. I was going to push him on a little bit when he said, sign our coalition. So what it comes across as, there was never a trust there for Prince Johnson. So when you don't trust somebody, you don't give them something important. But anyway, I'm sure he would come and he would get a chance to kind of defend what he meant. But having said that, I thought it was a great, fascinating conversation. It's good to be back. I mean, I know I've been away for a couple of weeks, and it's good to be back. I mean, we're gonna get into the juice of this thing. A lot of moving parts. I'm monitoring the Facebook. I think Tommy Lin talked about the sniping now going on. Somebody just posted something today about, because JMB made a statement about he's open to he's open to opposition collaboration. So there's this thing flying around that there's a Boycott Cummings ticket that has been sealed. So you see different snipings going back and forth. This is a part of the process. And the only people who will take these things personal and emotional, I repeat, I say it all the time, are people who have not been in this space, because I have seen wonders happen in politics. There was a period, Dr. Richardson, in 2016, we thought Bromsky and Weah were on the same ticket. Joe Weah and Bromsky used to go to Joe Weah and eat cassava gravy in the morning. We used to go together. Joe Weah would come to Bromsky Hall with eat potato greens. There was a point, they appointed a committee. And I'm saying this because people need to know these things. There was a committee appointed to discuss that. Fonati Kofa was the chairman of the Liberty Party. You know who was chairing the Liberty Party negotiation committee with the CDC? It was me. I was vice chair for political affairs. You know who was chairing the CDC committee? Samuel Twe, the current minister of finance. Dominic, you are aware of all these things. These things will happen. And guess what? Don't be surprised when you see a lot of when you see a lot of shocking news coming up. Because if anybody thinks political leaders are not talking, you are dreaming. These men and women are having conversations. sometimes conversations far away from the surrogates because they know that's how the surrogates will respond. So I would say, let's all put our temperature down. You know, the good thing right now is that Facebook, everybody got a right to type. Everybody got a right to say their piece, which is a good thing. But at the end of the day, we're looking forward to a very engaged process, and we're going to be a part of the process. I'm looking forward to heading back home to go and register to vote because it's important that we have that registration card. You know, because I mean, on my last thing, certain time I will not be talking to people who ain't get raised, who ain't get voter card. I'm not going to waste my time to talk to you. I'm being honest with you. I'm not going to engage people who can't even participate in the process. Certain time
the one who don't like bro for more than 30 years, they say that the guys.
Exactly. I will show my voter registration card, and I will tell you when you want to engage me, I say show me your own. Then we engage. That's because then I'm a part of the process. But having said that, I know it's good. It's good to be back at Courageously again. I continue to thank you for such splendid job that you continue to do in hosting the show, and looking forward to the engagement. But thank you again, Dr. Richardson.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I just have 3 things to say, and then we'll go to Tony to make his announcements. One is I pray that the Nima people see beyond the politics that we've been talking about, the politics of wheeling, dealing, negotiation, political parties talking to each other. Yes, it's all politics. But the system we have in Liberia right now, the system where there are a lot of people who go to bed hungry, more people going to bed hungry than the people who do not go to bed hungry. More children are out of school, less medicine in the hospital. That's the system that we have in Liberia right now. So politicking can go well when you have a system where everybody is faring out well in the country for the most part. For the most part, keyword that I use here. So I hope that I trust the Nima people. I'm sure they're going to see beyond, this wheeling and dealing. They're going to make sure that they vote for Nima development. They have a very strategic country. They have electricity there that they can use to develop their own country. They can fight to get the $7.5 million. That's what it should be for, used for the Nima people. And then fight to develop the infrastructure of the country. Ganta is a beautiful city, so they can really, really put their heart and minds and brain together to make sure that develop Nimba. I just want to also say that, yes, I hope there will be a pathway for the university students to sort of act out their energy, the energy that they have against all of the ills in the society. That's where they sort of experience that on the campus. I can't lose the image out of my hair. Flashy yellow car, flashy dressed person in the car, students building all unpainted, big potholes in the middle of the campus. Those 2 things do not match. So there's again typical image of they have versus they have not. And lastly, I agree with Ben. Let's go back home. We in the diaspora. Let's go back home, register to vote, and participate in the process. That's how other African countries were changed. The Nigerians and the Ghanaians, 2 of many I'm going to call here, didn't just sit in the country and their country developed the way that we always mention them. They went back home and contributed to the process. So yes, it will come a time before we talk to all be flashing our voter registration card for us to have this kind of conversation. So having said that, Tumani, please make your announcements.
Yes, I just want to say that the former vice president had a successful fundraiser last night. I watched it. It was good. It was good. And
Somebody you love to joke, right?
yes. Happy birthday to my grannies, Aurelia Ashley Weah, from your daddy, President of Military Duties in Missouri, Hector Weah Jr., and your mother Antoinette, your auntie Kali, and your grandma Aria, and also for Amani Fredericks from your daddy Achimo Fredericks. Happy birthday to all you guys. Well, look, I'm telling you the truth. I watched it live. It was successful. So what you want to say is up to you, Kev.
We congratulate the JMB Foundation.
I must say, why the JMB Foundation?
Successful.
Good.
Successful.
All right, I want to thank all of you guys.
Let me announce this, guys. Like you were saying, after the show, we do have a meeting.
Yeah, but we got an answer on the air, man.
All right, guys. I will talk to you guys later.
But again, let me say this. let me say this to you.
I'm gonna the old card there. At the old card. Need that thing. That thing.
This,
That the
no.
old card.
you threw a jab at Kev because what document Kev will carry now?
Bobby, I beg you, tell me all of you and Captain.
Liberian.
Also,
All of you and
let
Captain.
me send a shout out to my big sister, Ambassador Ade Captain. She's my big sister. She always watch our show. You know, husband.
Yes, hi, Ade.
Administration, you gotta carry your
Yeah.
Yes,
Liberian
in
document.
Liberia.
Yeah,
All
best
right,
wishes, man.
guys.
Carry your Liberian document.
Oh, for that registration, you need Liberian document?
Huh?
You said for that registration, you need
I
Liberian
will-
document.
Yeah, you need two
Yes.
Liberians
Who
to
you talking to?
two Liberians to verify that you're Liberian, or you need your document.
Tell
Oh,
Ben because
after you
Ben
ask
is
me your
highly
question.
low.
No,
But why you asking me what I've been told you anything? I've been talking about.
Now you talking. You talk say this time you'll not be talking to people who ain't get voting card. I kept you talking to.
Bobby, I see you, man. Fago. Don't put me in your deal with Kev.
I care for register.
I'm begging you, don't put me in your deal with Kev. I hold your phone.
I care for register.
In the same way we used to go VNK.
Yeah, but how you register, you go say, oh,
The same way we used to go VNK. You remember when we used to go
you gotta
VNK?
carry your birth certificate or your Liberian passport.
Man, I see you, man.
You get birth certificate and Liberian passport. Don't tell you, Ben didn't tell you, Ben say you're not talking to you.
Fago, I see you, man. But the guys are
I
best.
get my flight for Washington DC tomorrow morning. Quick, see you.
They told me the guy, I see you, man. Bye.
Okay. Many thanks to all of you. Many thanks to all of you for joining us. This is how we love to go home. Yekesi, if you are there, please come on. We're trying to get in contact with Yekesi. Yekesi, if you are there, please come on so that I cannot go off and the radio be empty. So if you just joining, we want to welcome all of you. This is how we love to end Spoon Talk tonight. And the team will be back tomorrow to continue with another edition. Spoon Talk will be back tomorrow.
Okay, so that's it, folks. Join us tomorrow for another edition of the Spoon Talk right here on Spoon TV and Spoon FM. My name is Yekezi Zowell. Catch it up tomorrow.